cyber touches every part of our digital, whether we notice it or not. To formally kick off today's seminar, my privilege to invite the Pansing, Chairman, Institute of Engineers, David Center, to deliver welcome address to the. Yes, sir. Please.
Good morning, everyone. Respected dignitaries, distinguished speakers, chief guests, chairman and steward, esteemed member of Institution of Engineers India and participants on both modes. We are now on online also as physical also. So I welcome both modes of the here and it is very encouraging that we are having a good number of people interested in uh, looking at our deliberations today on very auspicious or very important subject of this day, which is, concern of everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all this important seminar on next generation cybersecurity in today's interconnected world, for where digital transformation lights every sector from industry and infrastructure to government and daily life. Cybersecurity has become not just a technical necessity, but cornerstone of national resilience. The threat of cybercrime, data breaches, and digital espionage are evolving at unprecedented speed. Protected our system, network, and citizen required foresight, collaboration, and the courage of embrace next generation citizens. This seminar is a timely initiative to look forward on emerging challenges in cybersecurity across critical sectors, the role of artificial intelligence, blockchain, quantum computing, and safeguarding digital assets, building resilient framework that will balance innovation with safety, developing skilled professionals who can lead India's cyber defense in the coming decades. As engineers, technologists, and thought leaders, we hold the responsibility to ensure that progress is secure, inclusive, and sustainable. The Institution of Engineer India Delhi State Center is committed to fostering dialogue, knowledge sharing, and capacity building in this vital domain. The importance of this subject for everyone is evident from the scale of attacks we have already witnessed worldwide. And mention few incidents of cyber attack to feel the importance of our presence here in this seminar. For example, in 2017, the WannaCry ransom outbreak affected over 200,000 computers across 150 countries, crippling hospitals, business, and government systems. In 2021, the Colonial Pipeline ransom attack in the United States disrupted fuel supply across the East Coast, showing how vulnerable critical infrastructure can be. In 2023, the real estate wealth network reached its 1.5 billion record, one of the largest data lead in the history. And most recently, in 2024, multiple global scale cyber attacks, including breaches that disrupted service delivery and exposed sensitive data, with cybercrime cost estimated to exceed $9.5 trillion globally, making it the third largest economy after US and China. These examples remind us that cyber threats are not distant. They are immediate, evolving, and capable of paralyzing entire nation. The seminar is an opportunity to deliberate on next generation solutions, artificial intelligence for threat detection, blockchain for secure transactions, and quantum computing for future-proof encryption. Together, we must build resilient framework that balance innovation with safety. I also take the occasion to make a special appeal to young engineers and participants who are not a member of this institution, become a member of Institution of Engineers India membership, connect due to a vibrant professional community, technical resources, and opportunities for collaboration. This will help engineers and researchers bring their innovative projects idea to life with financial and institutional backing from Institution of Engineers India. By joining IEI, you not only strengthen your professional journey but also contribute to India's collective capacity to face challenges. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speakers, experts, and participants who have joined us today. Your insight and contribution will help shape strategies that protect not only our organizations but also the trust and confidence of society at large. On behalf of IIT Delhi State Center, I warmly welcome you all and look forward for fruitful discussions that will pave the way for a safer digital future. Jai Hind.
Dear Chairman sir, thanks for the welcome speech, talking us through the uh, history of the world situations where digital product came out to be very, very important. Now it's my privilege to invite the Director Guild, Chairman of Safety and Quality Forum, to deliver the welcome speech. Mr. Gill, in his professional capacity, is Executive Director, Safety at Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, and he has been instrumental in strengthening organization safety and quality training. An effort which directly aligns with our focus on securing what moves, what watches, and what is. Please, sir, please.
She is the policy group chairman, the research center, the Pramod Kumar, Honorary Secretary, the research center. The Mukesh Bhatt, the moderator for today's program. We have a galaxy of some corporate members, NCAC and member. The honorable guests and speakers of today's program. The young minds, the humans, who are today present here. Very warm good morning to everyone. Today, I stand before you uh, just one day after the circular was circulated that the Wi-Fi network of our corporate headquarters has been compromised, where an employee accidentally unknowingly clicked on the link and all his credentials were leaked. So there was circular requested across all employees that just reminding them the vulnerability of such attacks. We all have been witness to just few months before the chaos which was created at Delhi International Airport, where their software was compromised and ABC was finding very difficult air traffic control to control the performance. And our own experience has been that there are two very vulnerable age groups of young people like you, those who don't really understand the potential of the harm of a unknown link, and people like us, those who are now senior at this age, we sometimes don't understand the repercussion of the severity of what we do. Just to give an honest submission that both my son don't allow me and my wife to use online payments. So they said, sorry, you will not be around, whatever money you have to transfer online to Paytm, UPI, we will do it for you. But they have strictly told us, because most of our accounts are, these payments are linked with our salary account and there is some remote always in your account. So we are living in the era we are very, very susceptible. We are very prone to such issues. And they must congratulate the Honorary Secretary. Trying very hard to be able to bring in so many experts today. And very, very pleasant to watch that there is good number of people who have joined physically. Because post-COVID, people are always opting for online. Because that is more comfortable for them. In my and Sarpanji's era, that classroom teaching used to be is much more effective as compared to online one. I stand before you here today also as the chairman of Safety and Quality Forum. Sarpanji has already offered, and you can see why we have 123 plus centers across India. We have got 8 plus various forums, we call them forums, which work on specialized field. So Safety and Quality Forum of IIM works on the very specialized subject of safety and quality in engineering profession. And incidentally, I have been in safety for since my joining DRDO back in 1990. And today I lead the initiative of safety in Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. So in my address, I will try to touch upon how this cyber security is important for safety in critical systems. Some of the case studies have been introduced to you by Chairman Legislation. We talk about some malwares and some attacks. When we speak about safety in critical system, we traditionally think of structurally integrating fire and operational procedure, redundancy, human ability, etc. But today there is another layer which is invisible, it is silent, and often underestimated. And this layer is cybersecurity. And in modern critical infrastructure, cybersecurity is no longer an IT issue. It is the life safety issue now. Critical systems are no longer mechanical, they are digital. So we have across section, we have metro rail signaling system. We are talking about unmanned train operation. In most of the advanced countries, the trains are run not by humans, they are automatically run on signal systems. You go to Singapore, Dubai, you will not find a driver cabin. You can always stand in front of the train and see the tracks. And all these metro systems are running on signaling. So any mischief with this signaling system can have a catastrophic effect. Power grids and substations, oil and gas pipeline, air traffic control, we have an example, hospital life support systems, and water treatment plants. And these systems rely on all electronics. We have SCADA system, PLC, ICS, network, cloud connection. So operational technology, OT, and information technology integrated. This week itself, we had a lot of deliberation at the headquarter level to go for civilian AI rather than artificial intelligence network. which is open to everybody's access. We have a closed AI, which is sovereign to AMRC only. So today, you put information, you put data, and ask AI to give you reports. And this data is available to everybody. Now this has gone on public domain. And anyone in the world can go through that data, which you have supplied to AI, seeking an output from it. So now organization corporates are talking about closed AI, so covering AI. So we had a lot of sharing with our MD or head of department sat. Being from safety, I was also a part of field. And now many corporates are thinking about it. If I can access the network, you can influence the system. And if you can influence the system, you can compromise it. Cyber attacks can translate directly into physical harm, like cyber incidents are not just about data and anyone taking place. Train collisions, pipeline explosion, power grid shutdown, chemical plant leaks, elevator failures, medical device malfunctions. A manipulated control system can disable alarms, falsify sensor readings, threshold values will be tampered, override safety interlocks, shut down cooling systems, open or close valves improperly. So in critical system, things matter and false data can be deadlier than no data. Real world lessons, we had some of the examples which chairman, the already talked. One critical infrastructure is a prime target. Critical systems are attractive target because the impact is massive. We have seen at the airport the whole day winter day was lost due to the malfunction in ABC software. Public panic is immediate, economic panic is severe, and recovery costs are enormous. For a nation, cyber attacks on infrastructure are not just crime, they are act of hybrid warfare. And for organization, they represent existential risk. The convergence of safety and engineering and cybersecurity. This is what is my subject. Traditionally, safety teams focus on hazard identification and mitigation. IT team focuses on firewalls and antiviruses, etc. But in modern system, these can't operate in silos. Cybersecurity must now be integrated into hazard and operational study because then as well failure modes and effective analysis effectively and risk assessment windows. Yes. A cyber attack is now a credible initiating event in risk analysis. And we do not model it, we are underestimating the risk and credibility. Financial and asset application is beyond life safety. Cyber incidents can cause massive asset destruction, multiple downtime, losses, regulatory penalties, loss of public trust, insurance complications, and contracting languages. So now the time has come where all of us, those who are engineers, must sit down together and must talk on this very critical aspect. Because the future is for smart systems, smart threads with AI-driven automation, IoT connected infrastructure with remote operations, digital twins, smart cities. We talk about so much of technology, but we also need to understand the threat we can be exposed to. Losing thought, in safety engineering, we often say every accident is preventable. But there is also one theory, there is one law which says Murphy's law. Murphy's law says if something can go wrong, it will definitely go wrong. So whatever imagination you have that this can happen, it will happen one day in the world. That is what Murphy law says. In cybersecurity, we must adopt the same mindset. The absence of an incident does not mean absence of vulnerability. It only means we have been fortunate so far. So with this, I wish the event gain success. And once again, thanks everybody, one to the organizing body, first to allow us, SQL, to be a partner with you, and then to choose this very important topic. And thanks very much to all of you that you have taken this time in weekend morning. You have come here. Welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your detailed walkthrough. Your work reflects your experience managing the safety team at DMRC. And it is indeed exciting to know that DMRC as a body has also embarked on the part of generative AI. I am part of large multinational, and I can guarantee you that every government department today is working towards a mission where they want to make their internal document presentable type available to all employees. At the same time, want to ensure the government. I think this is very important. And then you spoke about working job, where anything can go wrong, to go. I think the time is now when we train prepared for that. If some of you are following, sent you Donald Trump recently time Claude order from a company in Introp. Introp is a company that does a generative engine for Claude, and they predicted that anyone to software engineer job are very soon in next 6 months. We have always been anticipating it, but it has come very close. But our US agency figured out that this may be a matter of national security as well. So the president of the United States has put a 6-month ban on usage of that technology across American enterprises. Thank you, sir. And we have amazing line of speakers, Indian speakers. And I want to start this occasion by welcoming our guest. I request our chairman, Mr. Falcon D. And would like to pass invite on the stage Dr. Naveen Kumar Sharma. Please, I mean, don't ignore the page. Now I would like Dr. Bhargit. Please come up on the stage and I would request our chairman send Sabhargit to the we also have a very experienced Dr. Vaishnavi among us, and I would like to request her to please come on stage and want to request our Steve, member to initiate. Amazing line of speakers today, and next I would like to call on the stage Dr. Vijay Kumar. Yes, sir, please come on stage and yes, please. We also have one speaker, Mr. Ravindra, but he's joining us remotely. We have to figure out how we get him as chairman, sir. Company secretary, sir, yes, sir. As we discussed earlier, that cyber is today pretty much like money. Whether you want it or you don't want it, whether you notice it or you don't notice it. If anyone still thinks cyber physical threats are critical, so I have been informed of a little change of speaking plan. And I request all the speakers to please come on their tables. And we have a change of seats. Until you. Out. Okay. Yeah, so we are talking about monitoring and how protecting everyone life and digital risk has taken the shape of inform. I mean, if somebody believes that these cyber physical threats are still very, very fast, especially for the generated in a room. During operations in 2025, which is maybe all are excited, we all are motivated, we all excited. That gives us India faced maybe 2 lakh cyber attacks. National power within days. So we work IT. So this talks about that today and in future war won't be fought in battle. These will be digital war, they would cripple an entire nation and it can take us over. And this is not just only in India. The world has been how the digital warfare can shut down an entire nation. In 2019, Venezuela suffered a nationwide blackout, triggered through a cyber physical attack on its power impulse. An event was so severe, it destabilized the government, impacted public services, and become a geopolitical crisis, which is now a case study in cybersecurity. It reminded that the world that only a few lines of malicious code influence the country's economy. That is why our first session of the day, keynote session, is of incredible importance. To take us into the heart of cyber physical intelligence, where artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and critical infrastructure intersect. I wanted to invite Dr. Praveen Kumar Sharma from the Department of Engineering, Civil Engineering, IIT Delhi, IIT Delhi, sorry. Dr. Sharma's research spans over systems prediction, market intelligence, and safeguarding of essential electrical networks, making it a perfect rise to open today's system. Ladies and gentlemen, please join your hands in welcoming.
Good morning, all of you. My voice is audible.
Okay.
So first of all, today is National Science Week, so happy National Science Week to all of you. So today, I'm talking about this next gen cybersecurity talk on this topic. So nowadays, as discussed by the previous speakers previously, that the cybersecurity is no longer a IT problem or sensitive production of computers. It is now become a, we can say, the security of our critical infrastructure, which include the transportation, we can say, we can say the health infrastructure, we can say the our power grids, and also see our domestic network. We also have the so many use of IoT and we can say CCTV cameras we are installing to see to give the surveillance of our mobile working somewhere. So this will be again creating these cyber we can say cyber circuits to create a various type of things. So further, there is an integration of IT and OT create so many cyber services, and now we can say the cyber attack are not only on computer or the IT attack, but it also converges to the physical domain. We can take the example, the first digital weapon used by Israel on Iran. So the attack was done in 2010. It is a which is known popular. I think there is a movie, Hollywood movie on that particular new day. So all heard about this. Somebody have watched that movie. So in that again, what happens that the the computers which is used in the nuclear power plant of Iran, where as means they are not connected from the any network. We can say they are isolated. Still, the Israel can attack them and destroy their activities, and they have created the physical damage. So that was the first attack of we can say the physical weapon used by the Israel. And, and here in that case, what happens is the agent of Israel used the USB and installed the malware in the computer of that that nuclear power plant. So that malware name is subnet malware for you to damage that particular we can say the process, and they remove the around 30-40 centrifuges from the nuclear market. That was very popular attack. So we cannot state that it is started in 2010. Now we are in 2026. So after 16 years, it's so many things have changed. So we are completely we can say dependent on the digital things in day-to-day life. Like we are using UPI transactions, we are connected to Wi-Fi. We are offices and we can say one place we are connected to Wi-Fi or lens. So it is easy to attack from those we can say the attack services. And now we can say the cybersecurity is not optional. It is an essential for we can say government companies, private companies, businessmen, even for the individual or citizen also. So how can we do that? So we have to create awareness. We have to be so readiness, and we also so the resilience toward anything. And this is now a national priority to have that layer of cybersecurity in our systems. Yeah. Okay. So in today's presentation, I will concentrate on these topics. These are the your presentation which we will do. So first is how we are determining definition of cyber physical system, and then the what is the cyber security, the surveillance risk of IoT, we can say AI and other things. Then the how the national, you can say the when we talk about the attacks, so there are so many stakeholders in attack. One is the nation actors also acting where we can say the countries are trying to attack other countries. When we talk about the countries, so they have so many financial funding, they can create the infrastructure, data centers, and computing facilities to attack. So in today's era, we cannot say the anything is safe. Anything is safe. We can make it tough for attacker, but we can't say that it is 100% secure and nobody cannot attack this system. So anyone, any attacker, any computing facility, if they have funding, they have computing facilities, and they have skilled man to we can say the hackers available, they can attack any infrastructure. Only our responsibility is to first make it tougher. We can and response time should be fast. We can make it more. We can recovery should be fast, and third, we can detection time should be less. We can detect in very minimal time, so we can respond fast to the any attack. Then next topic should be the infrastructure in smart cities and the in we when we talk about smart cities, so we are talking about smart meter, smart metering facilities in power system, and whole even I think power grid is completely transforming his substation to a digital substation, and state authorities also they are trying to transfer whole their substation to the digital system. So when we talk about the digital system, again we are creating the attack surfaces in the power system area, and you take the like Ukraine were attacked by the we can say Russia several times to create the blackout, and recently started talking about the Venezuela. So USA have attacked the Venezuela and they have created the they have created the blackout before they enter to the country and they steal their president from there. So these are the basic definitions associated with we can say the cyber security. So cyber security is not a we can say the IT, it is a physical infrastructure, physical infrastructure damage recently. So we already talked about that too. And it's AI, integration of AI, IoTs, and OTs that create that we can say interconnected link, and we can say the attack surfaces. That also we are also relying on the digital infrastructure like UPI payment, Aadhaar in our country, Aadhaar to link with our banks in our bank accounts, also in other uses like passport are linked we our passport details are linked to, or we can say any other ID card details. We can our voter card details are also linked to the Aadhaar. So somebody steal Aadhaar data, they get all the we can say the information of every citizen, and they can use and misuse of that data. And we day to day life we see that there are so many calls we receive in day that you want credit card, you have account in our bank. So how they get data? So getting some of the person from the bank or authority where trying to they may steal the data from that authority or somewhere, but they use it for calling them then categorize the two most affected we can say categories. One is the young generation, and other is the generation which is above we can say 40 or 50. That they are targeting them, they're sending them OTP, they're sending them the link, the people make it. So this type of cases are more common in India because we are having more than we can say the population and more awareness is not there, so people may get trapped by these attack on credit. Financial fraud cases are increasing in India. So I will have the stating of that. I will give you next slide. So what is we can say cyber security? Cyber security is nothing but securing our digital, or we can say digital infrastructure to get access from anyone that control, or we can say get manipulated from any unauthorized person. So it may be a CIA threat. CIA means we can say there are three things availability. We can say then availability is also integrity is there, and there is a credibility. So we have to secure all these things. So credential means we have to protect, or like we can say the data. DP, sorry, DP means we have digital protection of digital personal data protection act issued by the government of India in 2023 that secure our personal data against the streaming or internet privacy clause is there. Still, we can say is secure, and we have to comply this law while we are giving, or while we are using any personal information from the public domain, and we have to secure it. That integrity is again we can say the data integrity is there. That availability is how the critical services are available, and it should not be stopped by any of medication, or you can say attack. So how the things have changed from conventional to today's day. So previously, when we are at IT age and only the cybersecurity is the IT problem or computer problem, that the computer engineers are looking into that particular problem. Now it expands to the cyber-physical system. Cyber-physical system means everything is can connected to a network, controlled by a network. That can be a cyber-physical system. So now it is not a we can say generalized IT problem. Here, everyone who is using a system which is controlled by a network, or we can access it by remotely, it could be a cyber-physical system, and it's a matter of that person also, whether it is an electrical engineer, whether it is a IT engineer, computer engineer, or we can say a civil engineer, but we has to look into that particular thing when we is developing a system which can be remotely accessed. The cyber layer will be there. So these are the some global, or we can say Indian statics. So uh, we can say we use the see the malware and the ransomware figures of globally, and in India also the fraud, and as per NCRT, the financial fraud is around 68.9. We can say 69% is the financial fraud cases. And in world also there are ransomware and the financial fraud cases here. We have the attack cases are there. There are increasing day by day. There are different data. I think this is 2023 data. NCR and this is 2024 data global. It may increase. Recently it is 2023. So it increased, and the number of cases increasing day by day. So this is our clear understand for the clear understanding of TPS, and we can say TPSS. So what is TPS and TPSS? So cyber physical system where the two parties are involved. One is the cyber space from where we want to control, and another is your physical system, and they are connected to a network. But second case where the social network is involved, social network means human network is involved. So that again depend on that human network to secure their security of that particular system, because here only one person is not involved. There is a public who is available in that particular system, and their responsibility and their awareness should be there how to keep our system secure and safe. So there are two categories. which we are building. And these are the networks we are talking about the networks. So which network type we are using? So one is IoT. We are using RFID and IoT type networks to connect with our physical system. We can use the 5G, we can use the cloud computing, or we can say Wi-Fi or LAN system we can use. So or even satellite system. So these are the system networks which we are using to control or take the access of device or physical device and control it remotely. So we want to see that any of networks should not be compromised and need a cyber layer. If somebody want to access, so we need an authentication. We have to have a strong authentication. And there is also one problem. When I'm talking about the power system substation, when you go to the power system, so the common passwords are there in ID. People are not changing their password; they keep the common and very predictable password. So they easily hackers can hack that, or we can use that password and get the access of a particular device. So the IDs and other systems have the common password 1, 2, 3. When they purchase that ID, the password is changed after 10 years. Okay, sometimes we see the message came from the bank after 6 months, you need to change your credential, but we are not changing our credential by our own. And bank remind us to change our credential, please change your credential. This is like now, and time to change the credential. Secondly, the cybersecurity problem is not that once you find the solution, you install the system or we can say you develop a layer, the problem is not true. After 2 or 3 months or we can say 6 months, it becomes flexible. And you need to update your security again. It is not like that once you develop, it is keep on working for 6 years or 10 years or so. So you need to update it. So these are the some basic differences between we can say the ETL physical system and social system. Cyber physical social system. So in cyber physical, we already see that automated control loop between two parties only. We can take the example of industrial automation, where operator is operating a plant. There is no social or human behavior is involved. When we talk about the EPSS, where the human behavior is involved, so citizen, so where the citizen responsibility is there to control the, we can take the awareness and take the, we can say the, make this system secure by behave responsibly, begin by don't keep on the because as I mentioned that by taking a link our whole metal system by the was compromised. So it is not like that case. It is a control system sometimes human behavior causes the problem and that awareness is spread that how to react on the particular reasons or we can say don't want to tell the we need to tell the OTTs everywhere. So these are some basic guidelines or awareness to be spread among the we can say the person who are in the system. So this is the again examples of we can say the cyber-physical system and cyber-physical system. In social system, there are so many examples which are to use some example transportation where suppose people are traveling there and in the train and we can say the metro or we can say airlines. So sometimes we call we want us to stop here. Don't use network. There are again there is an announcement in the slide that do not use our network. Again, the people are not understanding and keep on we can say keep on working on the net using the network. Again, they are creating the threat to the system. So again, energy networks where the meters are installed at consumer side. Responsibility of consumer also to handle this creation. So these are the two categories which identify one is the physical, cyber physical, cyber physical. Then we talk. So this is the first we started with the CPS cyber physical system. Then after cyber physical system, then the OT comes under the cyber physical system. So we can say the subset of cyber physical system. Again, the industrial control system, where the major part is the we can say SCADA system which we are using to control our automation system. Okay. Then again, DCS, we can say distributed control systems we are using. We are using PLC systems. So these are the systems we are using in industrial scenario, or we can call it ICS, industrial control system. So when we talk, as I am electrical engineer, we are using SCADA and you can say DCS and DCS will also in substitution to take the decision or to control our IDs. IDs are the way to send the shipping signal to our circuit breaker. If somebody gets the access of ID, if that person can initiate flip to the circuit breaker, and the circuit breaker can flip our power from the consumer. So if somebody can access these software, we can say SCADA, we get the access of these software, then easily can attack our power grid and they disrupt the power to the consumer. So these are the problems. So how is it possible because of the legacy protocol? Legacy protocol means BNC the model. They are available in public domain. There is nothing encryption or the things are available to everyone. You can also see attacker can also see. So there is nothing rocket science to crack or we can say attack on the particular software. So now these researchers are working to develop the encryption which are unique and data can be encrypted because sending and encrypted after receiving. So in between is somebody doing machine and so it is not easy to decrypt that data and to change the data and the things for attacker need to decrypt that particular data. Now the quantum technologies are also available. So we are using the photon bits to generate the randomness. So it is difficult. Or again, I am not saying that it is 100% difficult, but it is difficult to crack that. After getting the post computing quantum ability, again it is possible to decrypt. Third is what is the risk for the AI or we can say IoT or surveillance devices which we are using in daily life. So billions of we can say connected devices that create the attack factor. IoT we are using in automated homes. We want to control we want to control our devices by voice or we want to control our devices from voice or we say Alexa everyone have their so what is the disadvantage? What you see, how you think that when we talk, only Alexa can talk. मतलब, or listen. He can give the thing that device can listen without giving any message. Na? So somebody hacker device can see or can get the access and listen how conversation. If you have an Android TV in your home, anybody can spy using that Android TV. If you have a CCTV camera, that access of CCTV camera can be taken by unauthorized access, and the surveillance can be done. Now, you have a story for your surveillance, but somebody is surveilling your CCTV camera. So the spy, the spy agency by the we can say the national spy agencies are doing that. If you do spy work when they want to spy someone, they get these devices and they just try to get the information from them. So this is the problem. And again, AI can happen. So the again depends on the input. If somebody change the input, so somebody change the training data, poison the training data, then output can be disturbed, output can be changed. So we need to track that whether input data, training data is especially get we can say not poison or it is not attacked by someone. You need to ensure that particular thing. Again, sometimes when we talk about CCTV DVRs are available, so that again some creator challenge. These are some of the basic, we can say one category of attack which are available. We can say some of attack maybe not available included, but I'm trying to include all the attacks here. So one is the another attack where the virus uses virus can install in the computer and that can control your computer or we can say device from remotely. Okay, this is something. These malware attacks were a second attack which I have already discussed in 2010 by the Israel. So category of virus is given. The name of virus is used for attack is the we can say Trojan, I think everyone heard the Trojan horse story. The name of virus is from the Trojan horse. That story of case and the we can say card we can say card horse is used to protect the empire of the king to fight them. So this is the kind of attack we are using. Then social engineering attack is the phishing attack, or we can say this kind of email in public in that particularly the attackers take the your mindset or we can say send some link, send some offer, send some discount offer and somebody click that particular link then we get the access of computer. So we click click any of unorganized or unknown link and directly and we have to double check before clicking any of link. Then network based attacks are there. We can attack on other device attack on we can say distributed device attack. We have observed it. And web application with attack is there. Authentication attacks are there. There are categories of attack which is available in the system. I'm not going into the detail of every attack. As in particular, I can go to the every attack. Yeah, these are the categories of attack which used by the attacker. And this is the categories of attackers. So first category country, or we can say nation. And one nation want to attack another nation, whether it is for military surveillance, so spy war, or user control, anything of the region, they have the ample amount of resources. They have high computing facilities. They have the computation facilities. Even they have cooling facilities. They have data centers can be created by them, and they can attack. Okay. Second is the criminal group. So what is the motivation of criminal group? One ransomware, can they get the access of your data and if you want they again access you have to send some money to them if you want your data back. So kind of attacks were done on the financial frauds. There are so many categories. And see hackers, there are hackers who want to get publicity. Who want to facilitate out this thing. Who, the group of hackers want to do. And there is a terrorist group who wants to do. So, and third, one category is insider. So, a company employee is compromised. Insider is compromised. So, anybody come with USB and install that USB in your system, and easily things can be done. So, these are the categories where the attacker come from. But these are some attacks, or we can say major attacks, which taken place during the time we started with 1981. It is right now there is no one have accepted from here, but Russian are claiming that the pipeline the we can say Soviet Union has been done by the CIA only. They have compromised the software and the attack, due to that the blast we can say the largest blast of pipeline has been conducted. Then started in 2010 and we can say as far as the time more focus on that 2015 and 16 attack that Ukrainian power attack 1 and 2. So in back to back year, the two attacks were done So firstly, we can understand they are not prepared. Okay. But after 1 year, they are not still prepared. We can't say that things are 100% secure. They have attacked twice. First one attack, in first attack, they have killed the 30 lines. And they have disrupted the power line, created the power, they have created the blackout. But in second category, they have created only one and two circuit breakers. It is more sophisticated one. And they have disrupted the same amount of people, or we can say power, they have done in the previous attack. So they become more sophisticated. The attackers have become more advanced. In every attack scenario, it's not like that the one get access one way or other way. They keep on looking into the system with 2 or 3 years. And then once they analyze everything properly, they analyze the damage properly, then they change the data and do the attack. So initially they do the surveillance and then they change the data. So it is not like that they get access in 3 years and then they attack. These are the cybersecurity importance. Why we require cybersecurity? So we require for national security, we require for we can say the economic stability, we require for the protection of critical infrastructure, we require for the business and continuity. So we require for the regulatory, we require for the trust, we require for the geopolitical and cyber warfare. So again, when the war or fight start between the countries, so initially the physical war is there, and they shifted to the air, the fighter jets and other technology came. Now the third is the cyber warfare. So those, nobody needs to go anywhere. Just they attack to the critical infrastructure and just disrupt the whole economy, or we can say the countries, we can say infrastructure without going anywhere. So these are the we can have the categories on why we require the protection. NCRB data which we have already talked about that we 69% are the financial fraud, and OTP scam are 12, we can say 12 to 12%. Social media attacks are around 7.8, and other tax fraud are the we can say 4.2. So these are the category of we can say data by the NCRB 2023. So now strategic importance of cybersecurity. Why is it required? So you can transactions by 2025 we have 12 to 18 billion transactions per month. So how much payments are dependent on the we can say our UPI, or we can say digital infrastructure. Then Aadhaar, we have 1.3 billion, 1.3 plus billion Aadhaar as per 2024. And we have 10,000 crore plus, we can say cyber crime due to the we can say cyber attacks. So these are the we can say the number of we can by number we can you can see that how impactful the cyber criminals are and how they are doing their work and how it is important to so important to keep our system or we can say critical infrastructure safe. So digital security, we can say critical infrastructure, economic stability and cyber life. For therapy already. So this is the business and physical impact. How business and citizens are impacted by the cyber attack. Particular. So although suppose attackers take the access of any company or any business, uh, they can steal the data, steal the technology, and they can stop the process. So it could be done by attacker. Here the another party can be involved in the we can say the rival companies can attack other companies infrastructure. That can be also possible. So this will be another case. Trust and reputation. Suppose somebody will like this, so people are avoiding the digital transaction. They do not want to use that. They don't want to give any, we can say their identity cards anywhere. So again, digital trust will be also gone. And compliance of your DPDP, the act, which is for the data privacy, data, the government of India introduced for data privacy to be compliant in every company, every institute which are running, which are taking anybody's data. That's the and third is secure digital transform. So before thinking of cyber security, we will not keep on transforming everything on the we can say we are talking about digital here, but we need to be more focused on the cyber security concern. Now, what are the future directions? What we can take future directions? So, first is this. So, urban we can say urban smart city cyber security implications. So if we talk about urban city areas, when we talk about cyber smart city infrastructure, so we install CCTV, we install the control center, we install the smart meters, and then again the same power which we already discussed, then that public safety is always creating the economic disruption can be created. So by the main reason is by 2030. 45% of Indian population is in urban areas. So, cyber resilience is not optional. It is an essential or prerequisite before we are talking about the smart cities. So, it is very required thing. Then, what is the emerging, or we can say the directions for keeping our system and cyber secure. These are the we have to strengthen our OT. We can say that we don't want to rely on particular we can say the legacy protocols and we make them more secure that anybody cannot get access on that particular software. We need to implement zero trust or we can say zero trust architecture. Zero trust architecture is the architecture like suppose nobody want to trust on the we need to not to trust anyone. We trust on only ourselves. So that is the zero trust architecture we have to design for any system. So keep that system secure. We need to deploy we can say multi-factor authentication. We need to send these patches, spiral patches, and we have to more fast response time or and this is the maturity level in the graph is shown that how much we have prepared, how much percentage we have prepared for zero trust and target and current maturity. So these are the categories, but this is the global data. Again, this is not in Indian context. So this is the global context now. So securing the physical system, we need to use the blockchain. We need to quantum cryptography, we need to AI-driven anomaly detectors, and we need to more secure IGA networks and other networks which we are using. And continuous reduction of resiliency is the only way which can be made up more cyber resilient. Thank you for listening. Completed.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma, and I can see the senior audience in the room is able to absorb about of this. So there are three words. There are three themes you want to remember from what Dr. Sharma has delivered. Like you could remember our cyber systems. When they started, cyber system was something to be independent. They were working on their own. There was no threat to critical system. If they are critical system, you might think of a large turbine in national thermal power corporation. So it was an absolutely decentralized device. The first thing is cyber system, independent digital initiative. Then came cyber physical system, which means you started monitoring your large devices of massive potential using cyber systems. And of course, there is no piece in between it, human. So that's where comes cyber physical social system. So, Mr. Sharma, thanks for that. All right, so we have our chief guest already joined us, he's joining us already in the room. But before he comes, to the younger generation, how many of you use GPS? Just show your hands. All of you use GPS? Okay, let me ask you a scenario. Let's say you put a GPS to go from point A to point B. And what if somebody hacks your GPS and leads you to a desolated place to loot you? Can you think of the scenario? Do you think it is possible? Do you think it is possible? This is actually possible, and this has actually happened. And those are not people walking on road. These were aircraft hovering in the air. So recently, India saw confirmed GPS spoofing signals. What is GPS spoofing? You are using a GPS, the device is using for navigation, and somebody start creating a copy of that signal and make your device believe that's a real signal. It can really create havoc. And it impacted a lot of airports in country. We had Devendra Gill, Chairman Sir, SQF, talk about the situation in Delhi airport. So imagine a plane is landing from the air, and the plane has to navigate the exact path because on the airstrip, around the airstrip, there are a lot of aeroplanes. And imagine if you can start signal, it could be very dangerous. And these incidents are actually real. All right, so I request all of you to be ready our chief guest, Amit Jha, Additional Deputy Commissioner of Delhi Police. He is going to join us shortly. He's not in the room yet. And when he comes in, I want you to welcome him with clappings. I'll give you a cue. As soon as he comes here, joins us.
Yeah.
Dr. Ravindra, are you online? Can you hear us? We
Yes,
have not only people in the room joined us physically, we do have count of 31 people who have joined us remotely on call. So Ravindra, I can see you. We are waiting for our chief guest to join us. Immediately after he joins in, we'll welcome him. And next would be your session. So we are waiting for our chief guest to join us. Stand by. Maybe we can take few questions if anybody in the audience has a question about cyber physics. Yes, please. Yes. Sorry, Ashika. Can you take the question? Mr. Jha, what is the I request all of you to please welcome our chief guest today. Mr. Shah, Additional Deputy Commissioner of Police. Nicholas? Mr. Jha, we are truly glad you could make time for this event despite of your busy schedule. I'm requesting Dr. Satpal Singh, Chairman of Deceives Center. All right, so we get to hear from your end source of your digital problems also at the end of session. Mr. Join the room. Very important member of our society, ensuring that you all have a safe digital presence. Uh, with this, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Ravindra Pal Singh, who is the President and CEO of Smartlytics. He's joining us remotely from Canada. And Mr. Singh is a global leader in Internet of Things, artificial intelligence driven solution for smart cities and connected assets. Mr. Singh, over to you. You can hear us. Please go ahead.
Yes, I
Let
can.
us confirm if you're able to listen to us. You can confirm that. You can see
Are you
your
able to
presentation,
hear
Mr.
me?
Singh.
Okay, am I audible enough?
Can't hear you.
And you are able to see my screen as well?
Mr. Singh, it will be helpful if you can
So am I audible?
audible, but you can hear it. So when you log in online, please keep your phone volume at zero. Let's switch up the.
Okay, is my screen visible? I have a lot of echo here. Okay, so can I start?
Yes, please. Now to make it on. Thank you. Please.
Okay, hi, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope I am able to communicate. Sorry, can I start now? I don't think.
Please go.
I'm sorry, there's a lot of echo, so I can't hear anything, sir. Okay, so okay, let me start. I hope you're able to hear me properly and it's very effective. So we're talking about movable assets. Now, just my previous speaker talked about cybersecurity, national critical infrastructure, and a lot of you know concerns around us as far as the movable assets are concerned. The moment we talk of movable assets, the first and most important thing which comes to our mind and which is very prominent around us in society are our vehicles. Now, if I tell you one simple thing, that GPS tracking of vehicles, which has been there for last 70 plus years, has not only helped a common user to move from point A to point B very effectively, but it has also opened uh, it's also opened a lot of avenues for what we call the bad actors, or the dark web, to induce lot of loss losses, lot of threats to our day-to-day life. And when we talk of vehicles today, I want to also introduce a concept which is very fast gaining prominence around the world. And in next 4.5 years, by 2030, will become a mainstream technology and a mainstream driver of any movable assets. And we call it SDV, the software defined vehicle concept. Now, to introduce, I have spent 30 years in technology around the world. I have been able to, I think, uh, one second, I think. I'm not sure. So, am I audible enough? I see him message. I think there is some problem with echo or something. Uh, I'm not sure where the problem is, because I have only one device which I'm logged into through my laptop. So Okay, let me try again. If it is audible enough, please confirm me and my slides are visible.
Yes, sir. Audible and visible.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So I'm sorry for this glitch. So just to move a bit faster to avoid any time delay. So I will skip my introduction because I have been already introduced. So let me come to the main topic now. Now, movable assets around us, plenty of them, 7 billion plus population, and I think an equal number of movable assets we have around us in the world today. The moment we talk about movable assets today, we talk about lots and lots of technology. In last 7 years, only 7 years, we have seen too many of cyber threats around these movable assets. One example, simple one example I'll take you. In one simple drone sighting on an airport led to the closure of entire airport operations for around 18 hours. Imagine the kind of loss, both in terms of economic as well as in terms of social, it incurs to that particular city, that particular airport, and that particular population, just because somebody sitting somewhere across the world is able to manipulate a drone and fly it in a desired location where it should not be. Supply chain disruption is common every day. Imagine this one simple matrix here. 6.6 billion losses to cargo only in US, and they have declared it a national crisis. Now, 6.6 billion in a country with a population of 35 crores. Imagine if similar thing happens in countries like India or China, the kind of losses we will incur. And that too, just somebody sitting somewhere presses few buttons. Is security become too much simple for people to crack? Has there been no breakthrough in technology which can help us safeguard and secure these movable assets from such attacks? GPS spoofing has not only led to accidents on the road. In one incident, GPS spoofing in an explosive laden truck in Europe created such a panic that they had to vacate a part of population because they were not very sure where and why this truck, and somebody sitting somewhere across was trying to control that. And then we talk of driverless cars coming up very soon. Imagine the kind of threats we are into. But does it mean that the advancements in technology and advancements in movable asset technology around us, like driverless cars, is meaningless when we have so many threats? Well, the answer is no. Because whenever we have any technology evolution, we also have threats. And these are the two parts of same coin when we
When we advance with technology, we have more and more better tools, better application, better systems to help us, help mankind, help our society. We also have certain factors or certain characters which come unnecessarily along with it, right? So whether we have losses in cargo, whether we have GPS spoofing creating accidents, we also are very, very clear that technology can also put a stop to these things. And that is where we talk about prediction. More often, when we talk of security, when we talk of basic things like cybersecurity, CCTV, for example, a very simple example I can give you. For years and years, we have been using CCTV more as a reactive mechanism. Something happens, who did it, when did it happen, what was the time, how did it happen, that's it. Can we move a bit opposite of that, reverse of that, and say, why should this incident happen? Why can't we know before the incident happens? And that's where predictive analytics, powered by artificial intelligence, comes into play. So today, when we talk of security of movable assets, we are moving a paradigm. We are moving totally 360-degree and saying, first of all, why should we allow these kind of incidents to happen? We should not, which means we should be able to detect the threat before it hits. And last couple of years, with the advent of quantum computing, with the advent of advanced artificial intelligence around us, and automation technologies like Internet of Things and blockchain, we are now able to predict and preempt such attacks, moving from a reactive recovery to a proactive prevention, which not only can help us to avoid those kind of incidents, but also it means a lot in terms of saving economical value, social value, and emotional value. So today, when we talk of protection to any movable assets, we talk of both the sides, the physical side of asset, the digital side of asset. A car on the road with a GPS is a threat. But with digital technologies around us today, where we are not only able to remote control with a mechanism that no third party or no undesired element comes into play. We are using basic technologies for long, like multi-factor authentication. A truck with a very critical load, like explosives, going on the road will have multiple secure locks, which can only be opened with the combination of multiple digital uh, algorithms. But is that enough? No. So we now talk about the physical side of security, the locks and the truck itself, but at the same time, we have to look at the cyber threats around that. And that is where technologies like endpoint protection, we have IoT, uh, edge analytics protection. That's very important because data is the most important thing here. We're not talking about protecting a physical asset so that we don't have losses, fine, but it's more to protect the data and the information, which can actually create much bigger losses to us. So by using these three pillars of intelligence, the awareness of the edge, and edge is where it is, the movable asset when it's on the road there itself, the edge. If you're able to have that information round the clock, 24/7, along with an AI predictive analytics framework, we are able to predict and preempt a lot of that, maybe 80% of that. And that's more important. Before something hits, we are able to catch it, we are able to solve it. So some of these are already being built, and that is where the concept of SDV or software defined vehicle is moving at a very fast pace. 11 top automobile manufacturers of the world, right from the Toyotas to Mercedes to Scania to Volvo, have been part of this ecosystem where they are creating those systems which are not only going to drive and move these assets with the help of a software, but also protect any damage, both physical and cyber and logic, moving forward. With the advent of computing, quantum computing, with the advent of AI predictive analytics and blockchain technologies around us, we are able to have these movable assets move more securely and more fast. So software defined vehicle concept has been gaining ground in last couple of years. And by 2030, as per the plan, every vehicle which comes out of the factory around the world will have the layer of software inbuilt with the best of data protection and physical protection technologies inbuilt into that. Edge analytics today, when we talk of, is just a misnomer where the data has to be sent to a central location, analyzed and brought it back. And that creates a lot of risk, sending the data and getting the data back, because it also increases the chance of blockage, the chance of spoofing, and chance of taking the data where it should not be, thus opening that movable asset to both cyber as well as a digital threat. But when we talk about going forward, the software defined vehicle concept, which inbuilds by design these security threats by putting a layer of predictive analytics on top of that, we are able to predict a lot of these, at least 85% of these threats, before it even hits that particular asset. Blockchain over the years have proven to be a very effective technology disruption when it comes end-to-end security of data and end-to-end security of information between different assets. So with AI analytics, with blockchain coming together, we are able to create a layer where it becomes even more difficult for those actors to spoof and to create a sense of what we call belongingness of security. Every day we look at threats around us where we look at fakes or deep fakes, as we call it. And when we are looking at movable assets like driverless cars, this threat becomes even more bigger and bigger for us. But thanks to these new technologies, we are actually able to reduce such threats by more than 40% today. And in next couple of years, when this AI predictive analytics and blockchain merges with software-defined vehicle concept, we are able to reduce this more than 85%. And that's something which the ecosystem as well as the technology players around the world are gearing up for. AI has brought in many more avenues where we are able to securely move data. And when I talk of data in the sense, data from a movable asset back to its core, which drives that asset, which makes that asset move from one place to another securely. So pattern detection, adaptive defense, and reinforcement learning. These three areas which AI predictive analytics brings together are able to create a layer and a sense where it becomes even more difficult for hackers to hack those assets. And as I said, we are already able to reduce those threats by 40% with the advent of blockchain and AI. And moving forward, by merging that with the software defined concepts, we are able to achieve an 85% success in that. Blockchain, AI, and edge, as I already mentioned. In any common scenario around us today, when you look at a vehicle moving on the road, the new vehicles which came in last 3 to 4 years, the kind of technologies they use is immense. Most of the vehicles today use a lot of sensors, a lot of applications which drive that, whether it's driver behavior, and I'm sure most of us would have already experienced it. a driver's behavior driving the car, the way the fuel optimization happens when the car is on the road. It gives us those alerts, which means there is a software which is driving all that around us. And when you talk of software, it becomes even more important that the threat to that software can actually create a live running on the road threat, which can be immense dangerous, right? So in future, when we look at next 4.5 to 5 years, because 2030 is given a deadline for most of the automobile manufacturers who have to adhere to this concept. And any vehicle or any movable asset coming out of factory will and should have that layer inbuilt by design. So we're talking about interoperability between different kind of movable assets. Today, when we talk about a Mercedes truck taking a critical load, and then it has to talk to backend systems, it can only happen through Mercedes' own systems. So now we are talking about open networks, we are talking about open frameworks, where any vehicle manufactured by any company can actually talk to each other while they are right there on the road. That can induce a lot of features which can create more prediction, more preemptive actions than reaction. So quantum safe cryptography is one area which is actually making this possible. So I'll not go more detail into that because that's not the main topic today, but I also saw that we have another speaker today talking about deep fakes. So I will avoid getting a bit deeper into that. But the moment we talk about a movable asset on the road today around us, we also know that there is a threat which we need to grasp and create a predictive, uh, uh, preemptive and predictive action so that we don't have much losses. Threats we cannot stop. So you cannot really create a kind of a framework where there's no threat. Zero threat possibly is not something which we all can look at, but the advancement of technology can create more and more such threats. But the good thing is we are able to now reduce those threats by as much as 85%. So the advent of sensors, which are driven by Internet of Things today in every vehicle, every asset around it, whether it is temperature, weather, its location, the way you drive a car, the driver habits, everything is monitored. Everything is monitored. The only problem is if somebody is trying to hack that and is able to hack and take control of that, it can create a problem. And that is why the multifaceted technology ecosystem with the combination of Internet of Things, data analytics, AI, and blockchain is being merged together so that we do not leave any stone unturned when it comes to detect a threat before it happens. So AI predictive analytics is something which we need to, and which we all, as technology players, as thought leaders, and as engineering brains behind all this, need to put in practice in every aspect of what we develop or what we design for these movable assets moving forward. So since we lost a bit of time, so I wanted to make sure that I am dot on time. Sorry for that glitch, but if there are any questions, I hope we are able to take it now or maybe take it at the end. So I would love to stop it here and uh, giving back to Pramod. Let me know if there are any questions. I'm happy to answer them. And I hope I have been very audible and clear on this. Okay. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So thank you. You can hear us. And we really want to thank you once again.
ऑफ कर रखा है
Mr. Singh, we once again want to thank you and you for insightful description of how to secure moving assets. To the younger audience, today when a car runs on a road, it is able to generate 200 plus data point every second. So your driving pattern, how you use various features of a car is actually getting monitored in real time. This is an advantage because the company can do predictive maintenance, but this also poses a very serious challenge. And I think with the session done by Mr. Singh, we figured out that rather than being reactive, it is better to go proactive in protection using it. With this, I want to apprise you of a little change because of the busy schedule of our chief guest for the day. And at the front line of this evolving battlefield is the large law enforcement agencies who bear the dual responsibility of protecting citizens in both physical and digital spaces. So policing 50 years back was all physical, but now policing has a very sharp focus and heavy amount of energy going into ensuring the digital security. The Delhi police in particular has been at the center of handling cases involving deepfakes, digital impersonation, cyber-enabled fraud, and disinformation. Issues that have touched everyone from ordinary citizen to national public figures. In a city that is not only India's capital but also one of the world's most surveyed and digital connected urban hubs, the insight of law enforcement leadership carries special significance. As cyber-enabled crimes become more personal, more persuasive, and more sophisticated, the perspective of police is an essential shaping India's path forward, balancing security, technology, privacy, and public trust. It's my honor, it's our privilege to invite Shri Sumit Jha, Additional Deputy Commissioner of Police, Delhi, to deliver a short lecture for the benevolent audience. Please join me in welcoming once again. Please, Sumit Jha.
Thank you so much for this warm welcome and nice introduction. Good afternoon, all. First of all, I'm very sorry to have made it this late to this program. Actually, since early morning, we had so many arrangements, police arrangements. We had valedictory function in Delhi University, so the Vice President of India was attending it. And then we had a meeting in Delhi Legislative Assembly chaired by Honorable Speaker. So that is why I could not come on time. And again in the evening, many of the youngsters would be knowing that we have a concert in Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium of Karan Aujla. So I have to go back to see the security arrangements there also. So I will not be able to, uh, uh, be there for that time. I would have loved to because, as I can see in the schedule, there are so many important topics that are being covered today in this program. And I would have loved to be a part of it so that I could also learn from you all. Though I also come from a background of civil engineering from IIT and I was so pleased to see sharing ties with almost three generations from IIT and It's my pleasure to see the person who was there when we joined IIT Roorkee as a fresh graduate in first year. When I joined IIT Roorkee in first year, Sri R.P. Maheshwari sir was our chief warden in Rajendra Bhavan, and now sir has retired and he has settled down. And then we have a professor from electrical engineering department serving now, and we have a postdoc fellow also. So it's my pleasure to be amongst you all and all the other luminaries. I don't have much to offer rather than very practical things that I'll be talking about for a very few minutes today. I'm for long I've been out of these technical stuff and all those things, and but then I'm updated about the developments related to cybersecurity as far as it concerns with the common man and as far as it affects the common man. What I see in the lectures that I've scheduled here are mainly about the cybersecurity architectures in institutional framework, in the corporate world, in the industrial world, and all that. So those are big topics and are very important and relevant topics to be covered in these times. And with the advent of artificial intelligence and all those problems. Though AI has made many things easier for all of us, but then everything comes at a cost. So AI also comes with a lot of problems that should intrigue us as professionals, as technical professionals, and we are the one whom the society looks up to for solutions which can safeguard us, our industries, our all the architecture that we have in our country in the world. As far as cyber security concerning the common man is concerned, these days we deal a lot with cyber crimes. In all of the state police and in our country, there is a separate division to tackle cyber crimes. And cyber crimes are on a rising trend. We still, I would acknowledge this fact that we still have not been able to arrest the trend. Let alone bring it in the downward trajectory. So that trend is still rising, and the the peculiar thing is that we are able to arrest a modus operandi of frauds, a modus operandi of cyber frauds. But then, uh, the moment we are able to tackle one kind of cyber fraud, there comes a new modus operandi. These days, you must have heard about digital arrest. Digital arrest, started as a modus operandi in 2021, and till date it's continuing. And I'll also share a very relevant story with you, which was a very practical experience for me. And then digital arrest per se is on a decline these days, and then there are new kind of cyber crime that has started now is APK based frauds. The apps that we download and install in our mobiles. So you would be getting some links xyz.apk. Those files are very dangerous. Those files should not be installed. Any one of you who has installed those files should straight away, deactivate it, get your mobile formatted and all those things. After APK based frauds, these days we have new trends coming in for all those government employees. There are so many materials floating in the market, like 8 pay commission based frauds. So there are a lot of links that you'll be getting to suggest on the 8th pay commission. You'll be getting some links to click and fill in your details for getting the benefits of 8th pay commission. Another kind of fraud that is in the market is invitation card based frauds. So you'll be getting marriage invitations, you'll be getting program invitation of different programs on your mobile in terms of PDF files. And the moment you open it, your mobile is basically compromised. So I'm telling you all these things because these people become victim of these frauds only because they are not aware about the modus operandi. And time to time you must be updated about all these kind of frauds, otherwise you will one day you will fall into trap. And mind you, I have seen the best of minds of our country, best of people having so much of knowledge, having technical background, falling in trap of cyber frauds. If you can Google about, I think 3 4 months back in our district, in South District, we had a case of a person who was a victim of cyber digital arrest of 24 crores. Now let me tell you the background of that person. That person had bought about 5 lakh of SDFC Bank shares back in 1995. He got an allocation through ESOPs. You can calculate the worth of those shares now. It would be around, if SDFC Bank is valued at around 1,000 rupees, it would be 50 crores. So he got those shares in 1995, around 5 lakhs of them. And he was all alone in his family, not much of social support. His wife was no more. He lost him in COVID in 2020. Sons and daughters all married, settled down. And then he was a perfect recipe for the fraudsters. So they got him into the trap, telling that Pulwama terrorist attack investigation mentions your phone numbers and your details there. Some of the interrogation reports of the terrorists, we have got your details. So he was very scared, not able to share anything with his colleagues or friends or anyone, and was kept under digital arrest for 10 days. And he was a chartered accountant by profession and worked in the best of banks at the highest levels of position. You can imagine the knowledge of that person, the financial knowledge of that person. And even then, it's about the circumstances that make you trap. It's about the moment in which they play so much of mind games on your mind that you fall into that trap. It's not about your knowledge. So don't think that we are well read. Even I am also never confident that I'll not be, victim of cyber fraud one day. So it all starts from your home. Home means your entire thing these days are these mobiles. So these days, when anybody whom we catch in our custody and we want to interrogate him, we talk less to the person, we find more in his or her mobile phone. So we get entire history, geography, biology of that person in the mobile phones itself. So that is the most important place from where the cyber security should start bothering you. And mobile phones, for a person, mobile phone is a repository of all sorts of data. Even when you lose your mobile phone, as a police officer, I get a lot of calls saying कि मेरा mobile खो गया, ढूंढवा दो. And they are not concerned about the cost of the mobile. They are concerned about the data that was there. So there is no cost you can tag with that data. मोबाइल होगा 20,000 का होगा 50,000 का होगा 1 लाख का होगा but people are very well off these days. They don't care about lack of rupees 20,000 50,000 they share more. It's more about the emotions that are stored in those mobiles and also the important details passwords and all that. So if that is gone, your everything is gone. You have to literally start afresh. And for the newer generation, it's more so because their mobile is their world. Also, these days we see a lot of cyber crimes related to sextortion and failed relationship, and then people texting your intimate videos and photos and all those things. And people keep compromising on those threats, and they keep dealing with those threats and not come out in the open and not report it to the police. See, these days there is a very simple platform. You don't have to go to a one-on-one person interface. You can just dial 1930 and the entire solution lies there. or if you cannot dial 1930, all of you are technical persons, you can go to NCRP portal, National Cybercrime Reporting Portal, and then you can mention all the details there, share some of the documents there, and then police be it wherever in the country, not only in Delhi, wherever in the country, that this is a you know national portal where even the remotest of police stations in the remotest of places in the country respond to the complaints which are lodged on cybercrime reporting portal. So these are the things that you should access when you are in trouble, and moreover, these technical things, next generation cybersecurity, frankly, industrial scale cybersecurity, uh, this controlling of physical assets and all that. The other speaker right now was talking about moving assets and cyber threats related to that. So these all things are not new, but then going in depth into those things, I'm sorry, I'm not that well read to comment about those things. But I'm sure you all will benefit from the speakers that are lined up. They are all the veterans in their fields, and they are sharing their inputs on the basis of their practical experience, their professional experience. So I request you to make most of it. Pay attention to their lectures. Pay attention to their words. And if anyone of you want to reach out to me, I'll share the number with the host, the organizers, and you can reach out to me for any kind of trouble in Delhi. Uh, I have already given you my background, and I will also share a very small anecdote about how I am here. So, Vinod sir is our super senior in IT Roorkee, so sir passed out in 77. So sir contacted me, say we are hosting a program and you should be part of it. So I told sir, I'd be very out of place, and rightly so, I'm feeling it even now that I have come in uniform and amongst all the people, technocrats sitting in civils. But I had to, because otherwise I would have to escape this attending this program, which I never wanted to, because certain 2 महीने पहले मुझे 6 महीने पहले मुझे बताया कि ऐसे participate करना है. Sir, thank you so much to you, Pramod sir, and your entire team for having me here. Uh, I feel privileged and honored to be here amongst all of you, and even more privileged to share the dais with so many intellectual people, so many veterans in their own fields. And last but not the least, I'm always available to all of you. I'll obviously share my contact details, and anyone of you who lives in Delhi and have any issues related to any cyber security, cyber crime related issues, can reach out to me. Cyber security as such, it's I would say a preventive approach to the cyber crimes that are happening. But then, if you fall trapped to a fraud, or if you are victim of any kind of cyber crime, don't hesitate in reaching out to me. In fact, any of the issues related to police matters, not only in Delhi, anywhere in country, we have a good network of our classmates in our country. So you can reach out to me. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir, very encouraging address to the audience. And I must say, this was the most pent-up session I have seen since morning, because the examples you quoted were so real life, so practical, that each of us could relate. And we truly appreciate you finding time today in a busy day. And before we thank you again for your time. I would like to request our chairman, Shri Satpal Singh ji, to felicitate you with a momentum. Satpal Singh and Mr. Jha, please. Sir, I request you to please come on the front of the stage. Please be seated. We will continue our lecture afterwards. All right, I think that was a very good session by Mr. Shah. So moving here, we are shifting to our next topic of the day, which is surveillance and monitoring of critical assets. So the speaker, Mr. Sharma, spoke about SCADA systems, cyber systems, cyber physical systems, cyber physical social systems, and it is all an effort to ensure that our critical asset remains safe. Can we close the door? So Mr. Ravinder also emphasized on this. Imagine in today's world, you are walking on the road, and you are captured, your image is captured by cameras. The devices that manage a large turbine in generation plant, they have a lot of meters, sensors, relays. So all these are digital devices, and they become very important evidence. But the question is, can this evidence be trusted? India's Supreme Court has already mandated strict compliance in Section 65B(4) for electronic record to be admissible as an evidence. And authenticity of digital log is now as important as the data itself. All of this sits against a backdrop where we must balance privacy, ethics, human rights, with surveillance and national security, especially as our deploy AI-enabled command and control centers. To help us navigate the intersection of cybersecurity, power system protections, digital evidence, and ethical governance, it's my pleasure to invite Professor Bhavesh Kumar Palchar, Head of Electrical Engineering at IIT Roorkee. Dr. Bhavesh is a global authority in digital protection, smart grids, cyber physical systems, and AI-driven monitoring. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise your hand and welcome Dr. Bhavesh.
Okay, so thank you very much. And I know that any session before the lunch is very difficult to speak and even to listen because everybody is interested in now lunch. So anyway, but I'm here because I travel a lot from Roorkee to here Delhi. Started in the morning. So here I am just give you a few things knowledge about what is going to happen maybe in future related to our system or network because many speakers they have talked about okay what is the cyber physical system, what are the importance, what are the various let's say the uh, fundamentals of cyber security and so on. So I have been teaching this subject cyber security at the undergraduate level in electrical engineering, BTech electrical, for several times. And I'm also teaching some other subject related to electrical engineering. And nowadays, two things are very important as far as electrical engineering is concerned. One is the smart metering, because you heard the news from the newspaper also as well as from the various media also, that the people from utility, right, they are coming to install smart meters at your home. And then when utility people go to some villages, then उनके पीछे कुत्ते दौड़ा दिए, that they don't want to install anything. Right? There are certain myths also, of course. The smart meters, because see, we are not worried about smart meters, right? In If you are in metro or some seasonally, let's say larger cities, then you are not worried about smart meters, right? Because if your meter, let's say if it is running slow, we are not worried, right? We are only worried when it is running fast, because we have to pay the bills. Anyway, that is a separate thing. But the question comes, whatever smart meter they are going to come and they install at our home, whether these meters can be hackable or not. Yes, of course. I know, because I was earlier, before joining IIT Roorkee, I was in industry. I was in utility also for some time, uh, in state electricity board. And there at that time, I'm talking about 25 years, 30 years ago, there the transformation phase is going on from public to private, right? Because that government, that state was trying to completely privatize the entire the board, state electricity board and some other boards also. So there we have earlier the physical meters, right? Those very big meters, electrometers, what you call electrodynamometers, technically. But anyway, we are not interested in technical. So at that time, people used to have several measures, right, to hack physical meters, right? They put some X-ray films and so on, right? They put heavy weight, heavy magnet, so that your meter becomes slow and you have to pay less electricity bill. But now the scenario has changed, technology has changed. So now what to do? Of course, here now also you can hack the meters, right? If you are, let's say, some intelligent person, you can hack that meters also. Even though whatever meters they have installed at your home, they have sealed that meter with white color lock. So that also you can do without, let's say, disturbing that whatever white color lock. You can hack it, right? Because it is based on medium, some communication medium. Like we are using Wi-Fi or some hotspot or some other network. The meters, they are also using some hotspot, some other network to send the data, and based on those data, the whatever state electricity board is there, they are giving you the bills, electricity bills, right? And maybe every month or twice in a month, depending upon their cycle. So of course that also you can have. And there was we did a survey also from our UP government, because they installed some 5 million meters, right? 1 million 10 lakhs. So that much meter they have installed, smart meters. And then we did some survey and we said we proved that okay, you can hack it. If you have some type of arrangement, right, you can do that. You can do the hacking also. So that is possible. So that is one thing, right? If you are dealing with electricity, then of course smart meter is also always a worried thing. And second worried thing, which we are now moving towards, right, in our country, that is electric vehicles. Everybody, we are using, or maybe in future 5 years later, uh, we are using or we may use the electric vehicles, right? Because those who are very new generation, right? Gen Z, what you call, or Gen Alpha, Gen Beta, whatever you call. So you may use electric vehicles, or maybe in future you may have hydrogen based vehicle or hybrid vehicles, whatever, right? After 10 years, 20 years. So there also the issues are there, right? What are the issues? like Sumitji told, right, regarding the data. Right? We are more worried about data rather than the device. So when you use electric vehicles also, there also we are more worried about data. Why we are more worried? Because obviously, when you buy electric vehicle, you know, right, there are many variants available, Tata Nexon, Hyundai, and so many, Toyota, right, even Tesla also now going to launch his car, right? So whenever you have electric vehicle, obviously you need to charge it. Right? Whether you charge at your home, that we cannot do because the charging is not sufficient. If you have two-wheeler or probably three-wheelers, that you can do charging at your home, right? Socket using that. But those are slow chargers. There are basically two types of chargers available in market: slow chargers and fast chargers. Slow chargers are those for those vehicles like two-wheelers, three-wheelers. Those whose capacity is very less. Right? Capacity means it's a kilowatt or wattage capacity. Like you purchase LED, and, right? You put the in wattage, okay, 10 watt, 15 watt, like that. But if you want to charge your big vehicle like car, bus, truck, then you cannot do with your home, right? You have to go to some charging point, charging stations. Of course, in Delhi also there are many charging stations. So there, when you put your car for charging station, they will ask you, okay, you want to go for fast charging or slow charging. Fast charging means it's a 120 kilowatt DC charger, used, utilized or installed by several companies, right? There are many companies, Delta and so on. And when you put your vehicle on charging at charging station, then obviously they are going to acquire your IP address or the location address of your vehicle. There is a dedicated IP address, like our cell phone, right? We have IMI address, IMI, right? You know, you are well aware. So they are similar to your electric vehicle. Also, some address, some dedicated number is there, port number. So when you connect with your charger, the charging station will acquire that things, and then they will acquire the data of your car. What is the charging available? How much up to what level you want to charge? They call it state of charge and so on. How much depth of discharge is there? And when you put it your vehicle for charging, they acquire all those data. And can you see? Can you won't believe that all those charging right infrastructure available in Delhi or anywhere in India, those are imported from China. All those are imported from China. So obviously, when they acquire the data from your vehicle or any other vehicle, those data definitely go to Chinese server. Obviously, because if you are imported something from China, then that will go to the Chinese server. And we know what they can do with those and tremendous amount of data, right? Of course, they have those technologies are different, right? Their areas are also different. They call it big data analytics and use some data mining techniques and so on. So we do not go in those details. But obviously, this is troublesome, obviously, right? Because government is more worried about this that what to do with this. Because we do not have any such technology where we have our own servers, we have our own charging infrastructure. Charging infrastructure means basically chargers, right? You use some semiconductor devices, those you have studied at 10th or 12th standard, right? You studied diode, then triode, pentode, SCR, silicon thyristor, then IGBT, MOSFET, and so on, right? Many other devices which are available now. Nowadays, silicon carbide based technologies are also there, which are much cheaper than IGBT and MOSFET. Now ICs and also so many things. So those things we are not developing, we are not manufacturing. So anything you put, those will go to Chinese server, and then their entire data, we don't know what they do. Right? Of course, you know there are different types of attacks also possible, right? You know there are some we can count it like malware, right? Malware is you have heard the name malware. Malware is nothing but some malicious software is injected either in your cell phone, whether through your let's say email on your let's say laptop or tablet, and then they do something. Right? That is malware, simple malware. The second type is a phishing, right? Either it is a phishing email or spear phishing. So what they do, they simply they also do the hacking of those things through emails and so many other things. Like very famous. Then one other word is also very famous, that is MITM, man in the middle attack. The name itself suggests, let's say Rahul is communicating with Arvind, don't go by name, because it's a Delhi, so don't go by name, it's a common name. You can give Tom and Jerry also. So if Tom is, let's say, communicating with Jerry, and some other person will keep him and watching your, let's say, your dialogue. For example, let's say you are doing some message through WhatsApp to your girlfriend or to your friend, right? And some other person is watching, oh, what conversation is going on. That is nothing but man in the middle attack. It is similar to MIT. So somebody is watching. It's a obviously what they do. They simply watch it, and then whatever they want to do, they ask some money or whatever, blackmailing. Everything is going on. Right? As Sumit also uh, told about that. So this is also very common, right, in our country. And then you have some other types of attack, denial of service attack, where they are going to shut down entire machine, entire system, entire your college campus, right? It is also there. Right? Someone may hack it, and nowadays hackers, means student hackers, I am talking about, because you are a student. So they love to hack the academic system, right? Because they want to modify the grades. That okay, let us modify the grades, and I will have good grades like that. So this is also happened very frequently. And if your system is let's say connected in some network, then this is very frequent, very common. And the other very common, let's say, common fraud happens in our country is when you book your ticket, right, to train ticket. So never give your PAN card to the train ticket, right? You give some other ID, but never give PAN card, right? Because they want to display it on the chart and everything, on the each and every bogie or coach, and then they lose it somewhere, right? They are going to compromise. So don't do that. And a very other very common fraud happening in developed countries, not in our countries, because we are not using credit cards and so many things, because there still they don't have UPI system. Right? If you go abroad, right, anywhere in the Gulf countries or developed countries like UK, US, Canada, European countries, then they use still the credit cards. Right? Either you go to gas filling stations, because there nobody is there. You have to scratch it, you have to fill it yourself. Right? So there the maximum fraud happens, that is of this credit cards. And that is also again the similar type of attacks they are doing, phishing or something. So never use credit cards if you are traveling abroad. This is also a serious advice, right? Of course, what to do, that you have to think. There are several other means you can carry and you can use it, right? So this is also there, common type of frauds possible. But then government, I told you about electric vehicles. So government has realized later on that whatever data we are going to Chinese server, now we have to develop our own Make in India based indigenous charging infrastructure. And later on, maybe 3 years ago, 2 years, 2.5 years ago, government initiated this. They formed some electric vehicle mission, Maha EV mission, and then they have given some several projects to IITs and other institutions that will develop our own indigenous chargers, Make in India chargers, and then let's say you develop our, so that our data, whatever data are there of vehicles or owners, they will be secure. At least they won't go to Chinese server. That is there. So there are different types of technologies, like we know we are now in the era of high-speed rail corridor, right? So many Namo Bharat, Vande Bharat trains are running. So they all are again the automated vehicles, and data can go anywhere, right? Uh, just I give you an example, because I was involved in that project. That's why I knew there was a project known as, it is run by National High Speed Rail Corporation Limited, uh, between Ahmedabad and Mumbai. It's the Ahmedabad Mumbai bullet train project. Right? It is still going on, and now they said it will be started in the month of March 2027, next year. Trial that is going to happen in the month of this year, September or October probably, and then the first phase of that will be started in March 2027. I believe that before it is definitely going to start before the next central election in 2029. right? So there, why I quoted this, because we need many engineers, technocrats from your side who are believing in developing our own Make in India technology. Because why I quoted this earlier, when any such high speed rail corridor project that was sanctioned, and then work that is going to start, obviously we are going to hire some person from Sweden, French, or somewhere, right? Because we are following still, our railways are following French technology, SNTF, there is a code that is what they are following. So that means when you want to buy something or when you want to hire someone from abroad, let's say for any high-speed rail corridor, some feasibility project is studies are required, so many things are required, and we have to pay the money, one-time money, right? And every 2 years, 3 years again we have to pay also the money. So by giving this Ahmedabad Mumbai bullet train project in the form of Make in India, I think government has saved at least. I'm just talking about what money they were giving to foreign, let's say, technocrats who are coming there. At least they have saved more than 200, 500 crores. Because at IIT they have given hardly 2 crores. Right? At IIT they have given hardly 2 crores, maximum 10 crores, because they have given 3 IITs parallelly, same project with 2 into 3, let's say 6, 7 crores. And they have saved, let's say, more than 500 crores. But anyway, money is not the important criteria. What is important is our own technology. Because when we go and when anything goes wrong, then you have to call that person again from the abroad. That is not good thing, right? So if you want to buy anything, obviously you know better than any other person. That is the thing. So, and anyway, I'm not going to, I have very limited slides, so I'm not going to just scroll the slides, right? Because usually I used to teach only verbal things, right? Or maybe we used to write a board on board with chalk, right? I don't dislike this, because after 20 minutes everybody is so I don't want to go in that details, right? So this is just the things that what we have to do as far as electrical engineering is concerned. Right? So I gave you two examples. One is electric vehicles and another is smart meters. Uh, Electric vehicles, as I told you, we are developing that indigenous smart charging infrastructure technology, with obviously some collaboration with industry, because without industry it is not possible to develop any technology, because you have to go to at a level of technology transfer also, and beyond also. Now, when we talk about the, let's say, the anything related to the cyber attacks, or then uh, many speakers and everybody now they are talking about the what is happening, what are the types of attack, and how to prevent those. Right, that is very important. So let's say, for example, as I told you, if I want to prevent, because see, if anybody is installed, anybody in utility is going to install, let's say, smart meter at your home, how to prevent it? Right? If nobody is going to hack it. So what we observed, because I am also doing audit of several utilities also, because now government has done mandatory that every 6 months utility audit is must. So then when you go for auditing, then I observed several things, right? Those they told you passwords and everything, right? Very common thing is that when you travel, they said even if I sit surrounding to any societies, I can hack the Wi-Fi passwords of many houses, right? Because once you start your Wi-Fi, many Wi-Fi networks are available, right? Obviously, public or private. Public very difficult, slightly difficult to hack, but private you can easily hack. Right? If you learn some technology, right? Google, right? You cite it, you can easily hack it. Right? That you can do. Now the question comes is how to prevent those things, whatever what we can say is that how to prevent. So prevention and mitigation is also required. Now, as I belong to electrical engineering, so I gave you two examples of electric vehicles and smart meters. So then the question comes, how to prevent those, everything, right? Whether when you use your electric vehicle or when you use your smart meter at your home, So then the best thing is you develop some device, right? What? Let's say small chip or like that. They call it intrusion detection. Intrusion detection and mitigation device. So most of the developed countries, what they do is they develop some chip type device. They fit it in the smart meter or let's say in your vehicle, and if anything, any transaction, anything, any let's say communication is carried out, then that has to be passed through this device or small chip. And then they this device or chip, they have some algorithms, right? Some software, some coding is done, some let's say code you have written, and that code is going to prevent whatever this type of any malicious activities, any attacks, any threats, they are going to nullify it. But again, keep in mind that hackers are always smarter than developers, right? If you develop 99 technologies, hackers will come with 100 one. That is true. So that chip or device you need to update, right? Like you are updating your cell phone, right? Sumit talked about APK type of technology, right? It is nothing but you are well over Android based tick type of files you are sharing, you are downloading, you are installing, right? Of course, if you use an iPhone, then it is slightly difficult, right? Because iPhone is not that much user friendly compared to your Android-based phones or technology they are using. But anyway, that you can also do that, right? So that chip development is, and it is not generalized chip. Keep in mind, it varies device to device. If you are using some X device, then some different type of let's say the different type of solution is required. If you use some different let's say meter, different type of solution is required like that. So this is all about what I am telling about. So I am just scrolling the slides because those things are not required. Now, legal frameworks. Right? Just last, only one slide is there because I have covered everything, so that's why I scrolled it. Now, legal framework is very important, as Sumitji told that about the portal, right? The National Cyber Crime Reporting Portal is there. Similarly, for smart meters also we have a portal, right? We have an agency who is looking after any type of threat, right? That is also there. So those things are also there. For example, I give you very simple example, right? These legal entities are there. You can search in Google. It is available. For example, let's say we are using 230 volt supply at our home, right? And we are, let's say we are facing a common issues like we are having 180 volt, 190 volt supply. Sometimes it goes below also up to 160, 150, right? And then you have to use stabilizer or inverter maybe in your home or maybe your offices or factories. Now, there is a mandatory requirement given by Central Electricity Authority, right? That if let's say if supply goes below 170 volt, then you can file a complaint, right? There is an electrical inspector who is there monitoring district wise. You can file a complaint and you can also ask the compensation against utility. Nobody knows, right? I'm just telling about awareness that this is also must, this is required. Anyway, now I know Gen Z generation, they are not aware of how to pay the bills and what are there. Even some of you have might not seen the electricity bill also because your parents are paying obviously, so you are not bothered about that. But this is also required, this is also must, this is just for awareness. So same way, there are legal frameworks are also there for electric vehicles, smart meters. Every smart device you take, there are certain legal frameworks and guidelines. And each and every smart device, they are governed by certain protocols. Right? We are not going to discuss the protocols also because usually I teach the protocol in 40 lectures for entire 6 month semester. So it is very difficult to tell you about the protocols because metering, if I take smart meter, there are also 10 protocols. Right? Japan is following different, for example, electric vehicle. Right? What protocol we are following? Electric vehicle. It's a protocol known as OCPP protocol, Open Charging Smart Protocol. Right? right? OCCP 1.6 we are following. So now this is not cyber resilient, right? Now new protocol will come 2.0. Now they said it is cyber resilient and nobody can attack it. That is what they are telling. But this protocol came from Netherlands. We have not developed it, right? We don't have any other our own protocol. Even though we are using electric vehicles, protocols are coming from abroad. So we are not using our own protocol. Any smart meter which are installed at your home, the protocols are coming from US. Right? They are using some IEC protocols which are coming from US. We don't have our own protocol. So my only thing is that we need a technocrat and we have a capability in our country. You can come and you can develop a protocol for our country. That is required. That is must. So that is nothing but the legal framework. The legal framework means if we have our own protocol, then we can defend it in a better way. That is only I can tell you. Thank you.
Dr. Mahesh, thank you very much for your lecture. I think it was very evident that as economy, as a nation, we are developing technically, but we still are dependent on the foundational recipe, the protocols, and very vital ingredient of our overall technical frame. So I think it's a high time, and I think there are initiatives going on in the country where we are trying to become stronger around semiconductors shortly. So we are agree with you. So thanks again for your time and detailed introduction. So our next topic of the day is very important for all of you, especially for the younger generation. A show of hands. How many of you have heard about deepfakes? You know what is deepfakes? Right? And deepfakes can be a photo, it can be a video, it can be an audio. If somebody had to make a deepfake before 2022, when Microsoft made ChatGPT generally available, it used to be a very artistic job. Somebody will have to understand Photoshop, very detailed, maybe spend a whole day ensuring seeing is aligned and everything. But the generative AI becomes so omnipresent now, deepfakes can be very easily created. So our next topic actually talks about this specific things. And we grow up identifying people by voice or faces, but today a 20-second clip can fake both. Somebody can capture a voice sample for 20 seconds, and then using that sample, they can make you talk for 3 hours, whatever they want. And it may sound and look absolutely real. And in our country, we felt that at a very large scale. Since we have a lot of younger generation in the room, if you notice recently there was an incident for a southern heroine called Rashmika Mandana. There was a deep fake triggered for her, and it was it captured so much of attention that government has to swing into action, and we have to formulate some urgent policy around it. And deepfake is not a future threat for sure. Just last year, there was a AI generated video of Mr. Narayan Murthy circling, and it made a senior citizen in Bangalore lost 35 lakh rupees. There's another deepfake where Mr. Murthy and Mukesh Ambani are talking, and they are educating people on they should buy into this investment scheme. And there are people who have lost lakhs and crores of rupees. And the good news is that India as a country, we are moving fast. We are trying to put some techno-legal guardrails around this. And with research, we are definitely sharpening this. And to equip you further with this knowledge of practical detection and defense, I am pleased to welcome Dr. Ajay Kumar, Associate Professor, IIM University, Greater Noida. Dr. Kumar works in machine learning, natural language processing, and computer vision. Three things very important for anything which is latest. Focus on combating with AI enabled systems. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kumar. Dr. Kumar.
Respected eminent speakers, presidents here, and dear students. So this is my privilege to have one session, a small session I will take, not long session because there is a time of having lunch, so I will take very small session. So please start the. Yeah, so today I'm going to showcase something of the generative AI tools and the video that I have created using some tools where you can also use the same because it's a free of cost available. And one more thing, the tool that I have used is freely available for everyone, whether you are from tech background or not tech background, doesn't make any difference. Only you need to have interest and you can do that. But apart from that, you are, I don't think you are going to make this tool in a such condition where you will be caught by some legal way. So do not take it in other way, like do not go for criminal. Okay, take it positively, and this is for learning purpose only. If I can show you, then you will be enjoying something. Okay, this is me actually. We went to Taj Mahal to see something important. But this is a still video actually. This is a video. This is not a still photograph. This is a video. Although we are not able to play this, and if you see this video, you will not be able to imagine that what conversation is going on with these two persons. And this has been created by AI tool only. Nobody can guess that what conversation we can have using AI tool. Okay, so what is the deepfake actually? Deepfake. Deepfake means something that is you are that things are not available naturally. You are going to create this synthetically. Whatever you can generate like image, video, audio, or text, or anything, poster and all, these are all called synthetic data. So you are going to generate this, and these are not available naturally. I am using this technology only. The the person who is going to defame like whatever you post your photo in your Instagram or Facebook, that becomes a public data. Although you have been told that this is a private and protected profile, but once you post in your any public social media, then that becomes a public. I can use those photos, I can make this any kind of video. Nobody can claim me that I made a mistake. Nobody can claim because this is what the term and conditions are given by the social media company like Facebook or Instagram. While making this sign up session, when you create a credential, you always tick without reading anything and just you started doing something, and that becomes a very wrong step. So now, what are the key components of this AI-driven cyber deception? What is deception by that? Deception is something which you can trust, but you will be uh, deceived by somebody else. This is called deception. So here you can see that although you have posted your photograph on the Facebook, but somebody makes your fake identity, and somebody else will create your profile on your Facebook. Can you claim that you are not there? You cannot claim that this is not my profile, this is my profile. Again, you have to be very careful about this fake identity. Then again, phishing messages. You are always getting phishing message in your mobile phone every day. If you are doing transaction of some money on a daily basis, then you might get some phishing message that this transaction has been made by you. but although it was not made by you, this was phishing message. And many more things are manipulated content also. Like this, you are always tracked by some expert. Expert means those who are have knowledge more than you. That you don't know the technology, but they are knowing better than you. So like that, we are always in the threat of cyber crime. Okay, these are the outlines that we are going to discuss. Deep fake enabled fraud and extortion, then voice, video identity spoofing, then AI-based detection tool, then public awareness. So basically, I will go to the important example that happened in the last year. So this is the rise of deep fake enabled fraud. How many? Just imagine how many fraud that can have taken place in this world since last 5 years on. Many more. Not even a con. It is more than 600 crores dollars. And see, every day we are having 8 million spikes, like disappearing spikes. So these are all cyber threat. What is financial fraud basically? So if you would have listened the story on that Singapore CEO. It was not a real CEO. It was a video created CEO from one of the companies in Singapore, and they asked for some amount of money to the employee that you have to pay. Then only some conversation was going on. That was not fake conversation. This kind of evidence that we can see, and this is all because of generative AI. Extortion, blackmail, every day in India also we are seeing this type of extortion and blackmail. Although you are not there, but still, because of this tool, you are there. Okay. Social engineering attacks. That what kind of social engineering attacks you might face? This is very important because every day this Gen Z generation is always alone. You are all you want to be alone because you have a mobile phone. But this mobile phone can become your dangerous thing. Because see, this is social engineering attacks. Once you have connected to the social media, then you are alone and anyone can go for your identity and you or your family member could be not real identity, could be fake identity and you can be caught. Because see, in the last line you can see here that it is there that all center of banking verification are there, but sometimes you might not get the real verification. Sometimes you may see the fraud verification. So this is one image I want to show you. Yeah, this one. This is very important. Nowadays, there are a few private banks like ICICI Bank or HDFC Bank. They are going to verify the end customer. That if you have made a transaction more than 20,000 or some good amount of money, then the bank executive will call you. Either it may be from IVR call or maybe a real bank executive call. And it will ask you, like, have you made a transaction of this much amount? If you say yes, then I will verify that you are the right person. If you say no, then transaction will not happen. But what happens when your SIM is get cloned, and then the same person, when you say something like, whenever you get a call, are you speaking Mr. Rahul? You say yes. That yes is very important. This yes becomes a common recording voice. And after cloning of your SIM, the person will make a transaction and the bank will call on the swag sim, and there the answer will be yes, and your money is gone like that. So this is very very important. You should be very careful. Otherwise, you cannot trace where the money is gone. So nowadays, this kind of cyber crime is common, very common. Now again, this is two photo you can see. One is original photograph and one is AI generated video. So can you tell me that which tool you can also generate short video? If you put any still photograph, you can generate a video. 10 seconds, 6 seconds, 12 seconds or 15 seconds. Although I cannot play here, but this is, you cannot guess that this is a original one or a duplicate or a AI generated one. Both photos are very, very common. How to identify the student whether you are the right person or wrong person? How can you identify? This is very important because nowadays, even for us, we are employee of some organization, and whenever we go to the company, we always have to cross verify that we are available, like punch in, punch out. So there are many tools that we can misuse them and we can say that I am available. But although I will not be available at that time, but we can say that I am available. This kind of proofing is common. So we have to identify whether you are the right person or somebody else. Now, this picture is important because it's saying that how people recognize the deepfake content. You have to identify the person. You have to know that which kind of person they are, how they speak, how they blink their eyes, how they move their hands in action, how they walk, how they talk. Everything you have to identify. Then only you can identify that whether this person is a wrong one or a generated. Otherwise, it is very difficult to make it out. You know that last year, Sachin Tendulkar was the victim of having this AI generated video only for seconds, but again it was a AI generated video. Then again one actress from South India, they got some misconduct like although she was not there, but somebody else made this and changed the face and all, and the video was better. Like that. So can you identify that which is the original and which is the AI generated photo? Only two photos are there. Can you identify which one is original and which one is the AI generated photo? How can you identify that? What are the tools that you can identify? Can you check through your naked eye to verify that this is the edge and fit or this one is the original one? The left one side is the original, the right one is edge generated. Because of color combination, the edge of the images and all, everything you can identify. Okay, so now we are going to have lip syncing movement. You have to be very careful when you see any video or when you create some video, and you can check the movement of the lips. Okay, this is my video actually. I was sitting with my friends and I was discussing something, but the photo was still. The left side in the bottom side, the photo was still. You can see that bag is there, bag, and these three persons are sitting. Now, when you create this video, the bag was removed. See, there is no bag. There is no bag, and laptop came in inside the picture, and also one report is there on that paper test. This is a video generated. If you see this video, then you can identify that lip sync is very very important. Lip sync and voice. What is my voice? You can identify, but when you see this video, you can get that this voice is true. Okay. The same. I met with my friend on the roadside, and we take some photograph. But when we give this photo to the tool and write some prompt, they generate the video very nicely. The weather is very good. We can come often here like that. did not write anything, but according to this metadata of the photograph, this tool generated very beautiful video like that. All are these simple photographs. This kind of video you can also generate, but not for defending anyone. Just this is for learning. So what is this AI-based detection tool? The hybrid approaches leading the way. Means there are many things that you can identify, whether it's a real or it's a deep fake, audio, video, or anything. But you have to be careful about the previous data, the original one and the new one. Then you can only compare that which one is fake one and which one is the original one. I'm going to skip this. What are the challenges that you can see nowadays? Challenges in AI generated spoofing detection. There are many things that you have to see. You cannot guess if you get this AI generated video for the first time. Nobody can guess. It's a like almost real one. Now, what are the challenges you can see here? There is a diffusion model in deep learning, like in AI, there is called deep diffusion model. This diffusion model is give the text only as a prompt, it will generate whatever you want, either video, audio, text, poster, anything. This is called diffusion model, and this is very, very dangerous also. If you want to learn many things, then you can become the expert of this. But you have to learn the prompt engineering also, like how to give the prompt. This public awareness is very, very important. Because of only awareness, we can understand that this is a fake one or this is an original one. And this is SDI. That what type of SDI you can have? You can see here deep fake videos, voice cloning, and AI generated, or synthetic text also, and AI generated avatar, and also like many things. This is all coming from synthetically generated information. Now you can check that what kind of product you can make using this SDI and what you cannot make. Like see here, there is a difference given by this. The CCTV video, this is not SDI, this is the original one. The second one is AI face swap video. Yes, it is possible because you can change the face of anyone and you can put anybody else. Then we have voice clone. Yes, it is possible because it's a synthetic audio. Then we have a photo enhanced by brightness. Also, it is possible, but it said no. And then AI generated political speech. Yes, this is possible. Then how can we identify that this is the ACI or real content? So this is one more information that you can see. Now, SDI type and primary risk. Where is the risk that when you create this kind of video, then it becomes a risk for that? So, political deepfake, if you make this using this video and audio, it is like democratical risk. Like we can be in the risk. Then we have voice cloning scam, like audio, so it may be a financial fraud. When you create celebrity fake ads, then like in video or image, it's a public deception. Okay. If you make deep fake porn, obviously this is a privacy and dignity matter. Then if you go for fake type official, like a video, then it's cybercrime. Like that, okay. Now this is the image that the original one is the color one, and the black and white is the deep fake images that I have created using some prompt. So you can also create like this. Although I was happy in the color photo, but in this the hidden depth photo, I was not happy. Now I have become angry man. Can you see that? So this is all because of giving prompt. How can you give the prompt? And that girl is coming automatically because I have given that girl should be in the black and white behind me. So this is possible also. Now see, one of my photo is original one. The blue shirt, original one. Rest are the AI generated photo. Can you make any difference? watermark is there because now the anybody. So this is what age generated photo. Face is similar, and these claws are changed. Okay. What are the new rules that the government of India is going to put us? When you create these images, audio or video, then you have to put the label. Label like that which tool you have used. Then metadata requirement. Yes, metadata requirement means once you put anything, AI-generated video from any user login, then metadata will be there to identify that who took this video or audio for the first time. And this is very, very important. Then we have 3 hours spectrum deadline. Once it's caught, you have to remove that within 3 hours. Like that. Now tools for SGI content generation. There are many tools, you also know that. So this is for deepfake video and face swap tool. Like one is deepfake lab, then face swap, then reface or then geo, like many other tools available for different types of purposes. Then we have voice cloning and synthetic audio like 11 Lab or Remember AI, Play HD or ISP. All tools are available free of cost. Then we have image generation and manipulation. Then we have mid-journey tool, DALI, Stable Diffusion, Remini, and this cat is being generated by, obviously you know this. This is the prompt that you can also generate very rich look photograph using AI. Then we have synthetic text, impersonation, and script using ChatGPT, Cloudage, Jasper, or Copy. Even more than these tools are available. You can search and you can use anything. Then we have AI avatar, synthetic human, like Synthesia, BID, Agent. These are the tools that are important for to make AI avatar. And this is in our India and China. They are having, see, news anchor is the robot one, not the Gemini. And this lady, Nana is the AI generated, not the real one. Then we have mobile apps like Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook to change the face. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Very well received session. A topic of very relevant importance for everyone. And we expose us to tools with which we can do genuine creation. I think we also need to know the tool with which we can detect whether there is a deepfake content. I'm sure there are tools, and since I work for IBM, we do have a team that actually does very specific work in this direction. Because there are tools being created, those can detect whether the information coming in is generated synthetically or it's an actual information. But as somebody said, thief is always a step ahead of police. That's the case we are chasing. So, amazing session, sir. Thanks again for your time. Uh, so, we are going to have the last session of the day. I think we had an amazing day today. Uh, so, we talk about technology, we talk about the cyber system, cyber physical system, we talk about how to monitor the moving asset, and we talk about how to detect and save from the team. This topic talks about the policy standard and capacity building, which is very, very important. Because India's cyber future will be decided by where policy meet practice. So you're doing something, but is there a guideline to follow? If yes, that's what we're going to talk about. In 2025 alone, we saw very, very coordinated campaigns for distributed denial of services on government and critical infrastructure. We spoke about all of this. And it reminds us that standards, skills, and government-led academia collaboration are real depth in defense. At the same time, aviation authority titled GPS spoofing reported to protect our skies. I would like to invite Dr. R.P. Maheshwari, former professor at IIT, to talk about policy standard capacity building from IEI classroom protection framework. Dr. Maheshwari is a long-time leader in protection systems and cyber physical safety. Sir, we'd like to have you here. Please join us. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all of you. Before we start with the topic of the future roadmap, just I would like to how one can get immunized against cyber frauds. Any operating system which do provide remote access. For example, Android, we are using the Android phone that provide remote access. The degree of remote access decide how how much probable the device is of hacking. So Android is considered to be most easily hackable or vulnerable for hacking. On the contrary, the iOS being not lacking much remote access possible. So as far as the iOS is concerned, that is considered to be more secure. Similarly, on the laptops and desktops, the operating system Windows, which allows the remote access, is more vulnerable for access for hacking. On the other hand, the Linux, which don't allow the remote access, is relatively safe. That's why one of the thumb rules for ensuring the preventing the hacking is to use a device with operating system which is not lacking the remote access possible. Just to share that first hacking of my desktop was done in way back in 2007. I returned back from a family trip and my photographs were I saved on my desktop. The desktop was connected to net and one of my family member accessed all those photos from my desktop and called me. So this is how the remote access allows you. On the other hand, to prevent your fraud, cyber crimes against you, it is not a very strong technical knowledge is required, but more awareness is required. Those who are sitting over here and are using internet banking with State Bank of India will appreciate that the earlier the State Bank of India was lacking and entering your internet banking access to your account was customer ID followed by the password. But nowadays they have introduced one more layer, that is OTP, based 6-digit OTP sent to your mobile network. And that OTP, once you give, only then the access is allowed. Now the technology smartness thing. When they are using two technology, one technology you are using, you are communicating for your password and customer ID on TCP IP. While you are accessing the OTP is being sent on GSM network. So the probability of hacking the two networks simultaneously are very far less than the hacking of single network. It could have been possible to send the OTP also on your screen to read the OTP and type it. But no, it is the advantage of two different technologies of probability redundancy is provided. So chances of hacking are very less. Now coming to the importance of the cyber security being, I remember that I was traveling from, I still remember the aircraft was Boeing and nicknamed by Air India Agra. It was a double-decker aircraft. And I was just strolling in the, because it was a long flight from US to India. So I was strolling in the aisle. I saw that one pilot earlier left the cockpit, and after some time the co-pilot also left the cockpit. So for me it was something unimaginable that the cockpit is without any pilot. So I just started chatting with the pilot. So he told that it is on autopilot and let us have some rest, then we will return back to the cockpit. We should think that that means we are communicating your aircraft which is traveling, moving aircraft is communicating with the ground, tracking itself and keeping all the vitals properly maintained so for the safety of the aircraft and the passengers. If unfortunately, if any intrusion is there in the network, what it will result? And even the last year, on the June air crash, people suspect that it was basically hacked, OS was of the aircraft was hacked. I'm not sure that it is a matter of time to come the aircraft investigation bureau will come out with the final verdict. But there had been a bus. Very recently, there had been GPS spoofing near Delhi airport, and what it resulted in that the entire air traffic was required because of the safety reasons. Many aircrafts were not allowed to take off from the remote location traveling towards Delhi to avoid the trap of spoofing. Otherwise, it could have been multiple air crash at the same time. So it is basically we have to be very alert, and this is the advantage. The hackers really take the advantage of the less alertness from the user side. Similarly, the modern vehicles to provide the internet on the move. Here they are using the internet, your entire trajectory is being saved, entire path is being saved. That means if you travel to a single point almost every day, same time, that means that is a recce can be done. So it is not only that the technology is moving, the criminals are also moving in the same pace, and we are in that era where the technology of tomorrow gets outdated yesterday. So we have to maintain pace with the technology, and we have to move ahead much rapid pace as compared to here. In order to ensure that the cyber security policies are formed, because it is a policy are basically the practices which will prevent the cyber crimes, and only thing is that they are being well documented, and sequence of operation have been ensured that these are the sequences of operation which has to be followed, so that many of you will appreciate that after some interval you are getting an SMS that you check your mobile for any app which is sitting on your mobile without your knowledge. It is basically the cyber team from National NIC sent that message just to check your phone regularly. One of the best method to prevent is to keep the OS always up to date. There are always the patches are coming whenever any vulnerability is detected. Patches are sent. So keeping the OS up to date is an important part to ensure that you are keeping your device safe from any hacking attack. Now coming to the future roadmap, policy standards and capacity building. So if you look back, then I have tried to compile some information that how much losses are being incurred. Sorry, I am just not able to read from the screen from here. I will take the help of because figures I can't remember. Just in the meantime, I share that the attacks are so much. I just compiled because I am from electrical engineering background, so I compiled some data related to electrical engineering only. That the post-operation Sindhu, following the Pahalgam terror attack, almost 2 lakh hacking attempts were done on Indian network. And now the cyber hackers are moving not from the endpoint, but they are moving in the back in the supply chain. And on May 7, 2025, Coal India subsidiary Central Coalfield Limited network was hacked, and our objective was once the coal will not reach the power station, then it will cause generation loss. And generation loss means catastrophic effect that will be revenue loss and technical advantage will be strategic advantage we will be losing. So if we look back in 2024, $9.5 trillion cost has been incurred for global cyber crime. In 2024, 53 million behavioral detections have been made. It is something like that. If somebody is here in the crowded place, if somebody tries to come too close to you, then you fear that it may be the pickpocketer. It is something of behavior you are studying. On the road while we are driving, we notice the behavior, dynamics of the vehicle to ascertain whether a driver is sleeping or trying to have a book or is drunk and driving. So like that, the cyber crime also, the behaviors are also important. So 53 million behavioral detection in India were done in 2024. 4,109 average days to identity and contain a breach. And 43% attacks target small and medium enterprises and government entities. And one of the government entities which became quite popular, it happened despite being aware that something such can occur, was the ransomware attack on AIMS server. And the objective of data collection was that what are the diseases which they are able to treat, which VIP is having which disease. For example, many of you will be aware that wherever President Putin goes, even the glass he used to drink water is sealed back and taken back to Russia. Even poop is collected in bags and it is taken back. Nothing else. Because your body is always mustering some chemicals and which can be used to detect which treatment you are taking or which disease you are having. So it is basically the pattern. So something like that, the government entities are always most vulnerable because they are policy planners and executors deciding. So coming to the in this bar graph, I stated that 2019 behavioral cyber detections were only 1 million. You look at the growth, it is exponentially growing, and in 2024, from 1 million to 53 million it has grown. And cost projection in trillion dollar US dollar is from 2020 when it was approximately 3 trillion US dollar, and 2025 is anticipated because the final data is not available for 2025. It is $12 trillion. Now, if you look at types of cybercrime distribution, when the least affected is the education. Energy is more than that. Telecommunication is furthermore, just because of telecommunication, most of us, almost everybody uses nowadays chatting app WhatsApp. Just to share that, the people consider that the WhatsApp their meta claims that it is 128-bit encrypted. Nobody can read, even the meta cannot read the data information. But just for your information, you can appreciate, correlate with the newspaper that the police is able to identify and detect the criminals. How it is possible? Basically, that for a common man it is not possible, but the data is available and can be deciphered. And just for you, because although it is unethical as well as illegal also, but if given the permission, I can give you all WhatsApp chat, voice communication, video communication for last 3 months for any number, just with the help of mobile. So it is not that in the digital world when the things are placed on the digital world, nothing is secure. Only thing is that how much you wish to ensure. That is the only point. Healthcare was next in line. Then the government organization 20 incidents were 28%. While the maximum, because in India the maximum cyber crimes are performed with the financial sector, the banking sector, so they were 34%. And if you look on the proactive measures, say 7,130 crore revenue was blocked by Central Firewall Management Control System. 16,840 plus accused arrested by the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center. 1,52,310 side-trained cyber crime investigation training registered officers. Probably India is one of the countries where the maximum cyber crime trained persons are available. 8,031 crore suspect registry blocks have been done. NISC Cyber Security Framework 2.0 core functions which require govern. The first is the govern, then identify, protect, recover, detect, and respond. So basically, it is first attempt to develop a methodology by which the hacking or cyber crime can be avoided. If anyhow there are, because nothing can be completely foolproof, so there can be attempt. So you have to identify. Once you identify, you have to develop a strategy how to protect your critical infrastructure. Once it is up to that point you have failed, then definitely you have to detect and block that. You have to respond to block that and recover the information which has been lost in the process. See. अच्छा, So there are policies that are, one is the zero trust architecture. Never trust, always verify. It is something that once somebody is coming closer to you, then you always think of don't trust it, always think that some damage can be done. Similarly, in this case, any mail is coming which is not from your known origin, or you cannot verify the credential, then you have to be very careful. Similarly, any app from the unknown source should not be installed. Any application software on the machine should not be. So users and identities, data in files, devices and endpoints, network infrastructure. So there are different points where we have the points where we have to be very careful. Because it is not in a modern lifestyle, it is not only the person will be connected, but the some network which must be connected. So you have to identify those networks. Devices you have to ensure. I still remember that once I was traveling, I was trying to access my mail at Chicago airport. There is one cyber, and it never allowed me to the hotmail, never allowed me to get access to my mail ID because I was accessing it from the remote location. Similarly, nowadays, if you try to access your Gmail ID, if you are commonly using from Delhi NCR, and if you use it from some remote location, then it tries to verify your prediction through OTP or other things. You have to verify the applications, API and services, data files. So all everything, because the data file is not that okay, beautiful files will be having some data files can be camouflage, some the hacking or phishing apps can be camouflaged in data files as well. Verify explicitly, least privilege access, assume breach, any unknown attempt always should be treated as an assumed breach and you have to verify. And continuously you have to monitor it. Physical defense in depth strategy and Mitra attack framework. Physical security, network perimeter, network segmentation, host endpoint, application security, and data and encryption. If you go on the other hand, the Mitra attackers enterprise tactics, it is basically different tactics are there, and what for they are, I have tabulated them. It is basically that all these are to be followed by the who ensure that the government agencies as well as those who are interested in the task of securing their network. India's national cyber security and governance structure. There is a tier 1 strategy governance, the Prime Minister Office, National Security Council Secretariat, Matching Lead Ministry, and Minister of Home Affairs, Law Enforcement. Tier 2 operational agencies are served in NCIIPC, 14C. They are basically 14 center for training and coordination purpose, 14C of MHA, TSCI, NATI, NCRB, National Crime Repair Bureau. Tier 3 are implementation and sector coordination, that is smart city, state cyber cell, sector chief information security officers, information sharing and analysis centers, police sub inspectors, whether PSI, private security agency. And here comes the role of IEI, NESCOMs and academia, what they can contribute for the cyber security. These academia and IEI can provide platform for training of personnel for the cyber security so that still more trained manpower is available to protect our interests. Now coming to the legal and regulatory standards, India and international, there are in India IT Act 2000. Earlier IT Act was there, but in 2000 it was amended. Key mandate had been criminalized cyber offences served in empower. Penalty and action. So it is basically their development to take the Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023. Computer Emergency Response Team, India CERT in ISO IEC 2022, NIST CSF 2.0 National Institute of Standards and Technology Cyber Security Framework. These are ISO and all these are international and global. And last in the list is the Budapest Convention. Budapest Convention from 40 plus countries. joined together for the cyber security. Now coming to the role of IEI in cyber skill development, IEI being the largest multidisciplinary engine body, 105 years of engine leadership, driving next gen cyber security capacity. So Institute of Engineers mandate and cyber security rules they are having, it was established in 1920. They are having 15 plus engine disciplines, 2 lakh plus active members nationwide, and 500 plus chapters and divisions. On the other hand, the IEI cyber skill development annual reach is it is having industry partner 130. Government committee members from IEI are at 45. Research papers published are 620. IoT security workshop 380. Webinar attendees in financial year 2024 were 12,000. Engineers trained in financial year 2024 were 4,800. So definitely the IEI can have a really significant impact in this domain. Now from the 2022 to 24, 138% growth in cyber training enrollment, 92% participant satisfaction rate across IEI cyber programs, 4,800 plus engineers certified in cyber security domains, and 3 IIT Premier Institute partnership for curriculum design. Being the lead institute in the national level, so IITs are participating in the development of curriculum for cyber security. Government industry academia collaboration. In fact, cyber security cannot be ensured through only one side. It is that every stakeholder has to participate to ensure. So government has to show the will, industry has to show will, academia can provide the path, and they have to adopt it by the industry. So government NHA is the agency, NATI cert in NSCS and NITI Aayog are the government agencies which do participate in this activity. Academia, IIT, NITs, triple ITs and CDET, IEI, NSTP, STQ, Standardization, Testing and Quality Certification Center, central government, state government, private institutes and universities. Industry like Airtel, TCS, Infosys, NASCOM, TSCI, IBM, Palo Alto, Scalar, police sub-inspector agencies. Key collaborative outcomes CSIC Cyber Security Incident Classification 1.0. Then another is Airtel Scalar AI Center. Those who are making use of those who are using Airtel SIM will appreciate that the Airtel has developed an algorithm which tries to detect the spam calls. So that is basically the outcome of Airtel, that is their AI center. Behavior they are detecting, some number from which the more calls are originating, some number from which the frequently time of the day when the calls are being originated. Everything is monitored based on that. They come to a conclusion that this may be probably and spam calls. Sidechain MOOC and Bharat NCS Twins. This case study I have with CSIC 1.0 Innovation Challenge plus Technology Adoption Trends. Cyber Security Innovation Challenge 1.0 which came in November 2025. Problem definition, real world challenge from BFSI, telecom, healthcare and critical infrastructure, multi-stakeholder launch, different stakeholders were involved in it. Student-led R&D. Frankly speaking, the young chaps who have lot of out-of-box thinking and they can provide lot of information about the methodology. For example, I gave an example of SBI login. That was also not suggested by any professional cybersecurity expert. It was an amateur. It is out-of-box thinking is required for that. And coming to the and ultimately deployable homegrown cybersecurity products aligned with national security priorities, which will be Atmanirbhar output. And cybersecurity technology adoption, SIEM, SOC, blockchain audit, quantum crypto, IoT security, cloud security, zero trust, and AI/ML defense. They are basically critical sectors. How much percentage they are participating, that is taken out. It's statistical figure, but it is basically how the technology is. Smart city and law enforcement, cyber readiness, securing urban digital infrastructure, CISO mandates, sidechain certification, cyber commando, and real-time threat response framework. NCSC Connect place security principle understand, map all digital assets and stakeholders, identify governance responsibility, access current risk poster and gaps, design secure by design architecture, network segmentation plus encryption, continuous monitoring integration, manage strict privilege and access control, supply chain security vetting, incident response and end of life plans. Law enforcement, cyber readiness, site and commandos, forensic labs. 1,52,000 plus site and registered, 1,40,000 almost 1,44,000 certificates issued, 281 cyber commandos, 33 forensic labs operational, 24,600 plus CCTWC personnel trained. And if I pie chart shows that the first respondent, investigator, intelligence analyst, judiciary, management, and forensic specialist, how they are. Cyber incident response life cycle and certain standard, preparation to prepare policies, CISO teams, SOC setup, playbooks, stakeholder mapping, detection and analysis, SIEM alerts, anomaly detection, 3 intel, 6 hours certain reporting. There is a mandate that any cyber attack, if it is detected on the government entity, then it has to be reported to National Cyber Crime Center within 6 hours. Containment, isolate an attack is there, then isolate that machine from so that it cannot spread that attack to other machine. So isolate affected system, block attack vector, activate IR team, eradication, remove malware, patch vulnerability, clean compromised host. Recovery now, because once it has been compromised, that means some data loss has taken place. So try to recover that lost data. So recovery is restore services. For example, in the AIM server hacking, fortunately the ransomware attack was there, but almost all patient data was backed up somewhere else. So they were relatively quite at easy. Instead of bulging to the paying the money, they were ready to restore back the data from the backup server. Like your everyday bank account, you are maintaining account in any branch, but every day it is updated to the your division level. Then from division level, it is updated on national server. So unfortunate situation is the machine and the branch is compromised. It is not much challenge. Only thing is to sanitize it, and you can always have the data available from the backup and which level of backup is available it also. Another approach is using the blockchain that you maintain multiple backups. And in the blockchain, there is a technology is tokenization. So you nobody can access until a proper token is not generated. So that is also basically you are updating the data, not updating and retrieving data is always based on token. That is yet another technology. So cyber capacity building, sidechain 14C, CCPWC scheme. Then so it is different policy and legislation, technical capability, organization readiness, workforce capacity, international cooperation, because cyber attacks are not only occurring from the physical country, they can occur because no physical movement is required. It is merely access to remote access, so it can happen from anywhere. International cooperation, smart city security, law enforcement. Now, if you look back, strategic cyber security roadmap from 2025 to 2030. For 2025, harmonized DPDP rules, expand CERT in mandate, digital side trains to 2000K, sorry, 200K, mandate CISO for all agencies, II cyber CERT tier 1. 2026 5G 6G security standard, national cyber strategy document, AI driven SOC deployment, 1 lakh PSI certified, PSI police sub inspector, CSIC scale 2027, quantum safe cryptography, domestic cyber products, smart city CISO network, IEI certification tier 2, 2 lakh certified drone warriors. Because drones are also remotely controlled and future, in the upcoming time, will see a lot of drone requirement. So that is to be also protected. 28 to 30 is the Digital Bharat 2047 goal. Global cyber leadership, export India PSI solution, net zero breaches target, Asian cyber norms. IEI is engine body, expand cyber curriculum across all 50 disciplines, sponsor national hackathon plus innovation competitions, launch IEI cyber security certification tier 1 and 2, set IoT device security engine standard, publish quarterly threat intelligence journals. Government agencies finalize DPDP Act rules, timely implementation, increase CERT in state cyber cell budgets, mandate CISO rules for all utilities and ministries, foster incubation centers for cyber startups, create national cyber security maturity index. Industry partner role will be invest in in-house R&D cyber security tests, share real-time threat intel with CERT in ISACs, co-design curricula with IEIA university partners, implement zero trust architecture supply chain, participate in CSIC and Bharat NCX initiative. Academic and research adopt NCSC, connect places in engine courses, establish centers for excellence in cybersecurity, launch of BTech and Tech PhD cybersecurity specializations, partner with industry for smart city security R&D, publish open access street database for research. And finally, conclusion and call for action securing digital Bharat by 2047, which is the next given. Unified national effort is to be there. Synergy between IEI, academia, government policy and industry innovation is non-negotiable. No single actor can secure India alone. Proactive and not reactive. Cyber security must be embedded at day one in smart city planning, procurement, engine curricula, and law enforcement training. Standards like data-driven NIST, ISO 27001, zero trust and architecture and must guide implementation, matrix audits and CISO must hold every sector accountable. This is about the future roadmap for how the cyber security will be. But definitely, all stakeholders have to join hands together to finally come out as a system. Otherwise, no single entity, government, industry, academia cannot do justice to the issue. It is a combined effort, combined team, and that's why the cyber security is coming up as a big challenge nowadays. There are different forms that the house arrest, blah blah blah. But all are related of cyber security compromise, and it presented almost every information is available on the digital form and is available in the air. Therefore, security of the information is very important, and we have to develop a strategy so that the security cannot be compromised. Develop methodology, because every day whatever we do, next step it will be outdated. Some other method have to be adopted, and so it is a continuous process. It is a rat and cat race, and it will continue almost till some new thing which is away from the digital world emerge. And I don't think that for any of us it will emerge. Thanks.
Okay, Dr. Maheshwari, thanks a lot for your forward-looking, guiding, defining, and policy suggesting lecture. It was very energetic. So we, Dr. Bhavish, talk about what we are lacking today. We talk about where we aspire to be, and we also spoke about the letter, all the steps we have to take, policy formation, industrial initiative, academic initiative. Truly thank you for the time. And this brings us to the close of our session today. An event of this depth and impact is not possible. The event of this depth and impact is only possible because of dedication of many hands and minds, the leadership of Delhi State Center, Institute of Engineers, Safety and Quality Forum, and the commitment of our distinguished speakers and enthusiasm of every participant. I see many of you have. Yeah, Ashutosh, you have a question.
Yes. Hello, sir. Sir, I have just one small question.
Please.
I'm from electrical engineering background and I'm a lawyer too, working as a contracts manager in a multinational bank. So I come across cyber security and data transfer daily in my life. I have 2 points to say from the regulatory perspective. Dr. Maheshwari, if you could please answer. Like the cross-border compliance. So in banking world, in financial world, we transfer data cross-border, multi-jurisdictions are involved, and every jurisdiction has their own data policy, like GDPR for UK and DPDPA for India. So, like, what could be the conflict in the conflicting situation of AI regulation and data privacy? The first thing. The second, who should help liable in the AI breach? Either it will be the developer or the deployer or the organization per se. The third and the last question is, we have a regulatory gaps. So the technology is moving fast than that of our policy. I'm not denying the fact that our policy and the regulation is it is moving, but it finds this is lag in the with the technology. So, what could be the solution in these things, or how should proceed?
So, Ashutosh, you asked one last three questions, three great questions, I must say, and we are also cognizant of the time, and we are all going to stay here. So, Dr. Maheshwari, if you want to answer right now, it's okay. Otherwise, we are going down. We'll have a networking session.
I will just.
All right, wonderful, amazing. So, to formally extend the, and this is an important question, Ashutosh, and you can't, Ashutosh, right?
Yes, yes.
And you can't find a better audience for electrical engineering. We have the most eminent speakers and very deep experts on electrical engineering, right from IT. So you have the right people to ask your questions today. So for a formal closure of the event, I would like to extend our gratitude and bring the proceeding to a dignified close. I want to invite on stage on the mic Chief Pramod Kumar, Honorary Secretary, IAI Research Centers. Okay, so before we do that, we would also like to present a token of thanks to all the speakers today. And I would request our chairman, Mr. Falkinji. I think आप यहाँ से speaker वहाँ से आगे.
One more thing I will to share that today I had a fantastic day for me.
Yes.
3 academic generation and 3 family generation.
Yes.
I had.
I request Chairman Sir to please give a token of thanks to Dr. Naveen Kumar Sharma. Now request Dr. Bhavesh Kumar to please accept a token of thanks from Chairman Sir and Company Secretary Office. Please, sir. I like your lecture because you remove slides. You are more focused on communicating to the audience. Next, I request Dr. Ajay Kumar to please accept the token of thanks from Chairman Sir and Honorary Secretary. So I think your topic was of great importance among you. In case how you identify. And now the most senior leader, most senior academician, visionary we have on the stage, Dr. R.P. Maheshwari. Could you please accept a token of thanks from Chairman Sir and Honorary Secretary. Now to formally extend our gratitude and bring the proceeding to a dignified close, let me request Chief Manoj Kumar, Honorary Secretary, Delhi State Center Institute of Engineers, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, come today to join this seminar, National Cybersecurity Protecting what moves, what we watch and what we see. But it is proud to be perform the both of things. My chief guest is already single this video very a little time and they spent on a few minutes. That's for us. And I express a great heartfelt expression to Mr. Sapali who guide us and inspire us, organize this seminar, and our chairman, Mr. David Patel, chairman, safety and quality forum, who also visited little time. So, post, they are welcome those who get elected. And now I give it to our eminent speaker, Dr. Sarma Naveen Kumar, Dr. Ravindra Paul Singh, joined from the Canada, and Dr. Bhavesh Kumar Varija, and Dr. Ajay Kumar, Dr. R.P. Maheshwari, one person, and all three speakers from IIT Roorkee, and Dr. Ajay Kumar from my university. So thank you, sir. Thanks to join us today and address us, and it was very informative session and technical session. I thought skill and demanding these topics. So hopefully you all got the information. And if anyone have any question, just we drop a note to us. Our speaker will give you the answer. And my sincere appreciation to all of professional academic who joined. I think our academic person is already in this into at garden area. to take the lunch. So I request all of you, please join the lunch. Thank you.